above. He's above. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Boys and girls, welcome to me, everybody. You guys all doing good? Having a fantastic and beautiful Tuesday afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. Welcome in. This is episode 5 of the podcast. So, Unmask, Reveal Your True Identity. This is our logo right here for the podcast, where we just talk about a lot of different things. Last 4 episodes, we talked with 2 guests. We had a Q&A with myself, and we did an educational type video on how to be a successful full-time streamer, part-time streamer. Marvel, what's going on? Welcome in. And today we're going to talk about just a little bit more about my life, for what I could remember, because my memory is kind of shot, but what I can remember within the last... Man, we'll try to go back to, we'll probably try to start it off where I was like 13. When I think I started high school around 13. And we'll just talk about some stuff I've went through, some good things, some bad things, some really emotional things. Yo, X3, what's going on? Gabriel, you guys, how do I sound over there? It's pretty hard doing this, running a podcast with the equipment that I have, not knowing if I can hear or if I sound good, or, whatever the case may be. A lot of technical difficulties could happen, so I hope I sound good to you guys. We'll probably talk hopefully for I don't know, maybe 2 hours. It depends how deep we get into it. And if you guys got any questions, you can ask them in the chat. If I see it, I'll read it, you know what I'm saying? But we'll try our best, and I hope I sound good and look good to you guys. On my iPad right now, I think I look pretty good. We're not that fancy yet in podcasting. You see all these normal or good podcasters out there. They got everything. We have the equipment, kind of. It's a little hard, you know what I mean, for the space that I have and the things that I do. But, yeah, I hope you guys are excited. I am. Like I said, this is episode 5, so it's pretty cool. We do about 1 episode every month for right now, as we do content creation full time, as you guys already know. If you guys check me out on Twitch or even see me on YouTube, we do content creation full time. We're live every day besides Sunday. We create content, we make videos, we edit, we do it all of ourselves. I have a great community who does a lot of edits for me, like Marvel. I see Carrie starting to do some, Chemical is trying to do some. Brent does them. So I have a great community that makes my life a little bit easier when it comes to clipping, and then I grab them clips and I edit them. So running a podcast once a month is a little difficult, especially trying to pull people in. Last month, we were supposed to get Wooly in here, Wooly Whammoth. If you guys don't know who that is, we were supposed to get him in here, and just couldn't make it happen. It was going to snow the day we were supposed to pick him up. We had a Fortnite, the Godzilla update that Friday, so both of us being content creators, we didn't want to miss out on that great content that came with that update, so we decided to do it Saturday, and then it was snow, and yeah, it just fell apart. So it's kind of hard to have everything line up and execute. And I've reached out to other people too, like some famous people and some people who are like, I don't want to say they're really famous, but to us they're probably famous. The average Joe, you know what I mean? No one's gotten back to me yet, which is kind of expected. And I'm just talking now just to let people come in. I know I don't want to start it right away. You know what I mean? But yeah, reached out to quite a few people. Obviously, like Mr. Beast, I reached out to. He probably will never answer unless we get really big. Cypher PK. I reached out to Nick Merckx. Some football stars like Jason Kelsey. Who else did I reach out to? Brian Dawkins. If you guys don't know them, they're just football like legends. I just want to talk. I just want to talk to different people who experience different things. I don't want to just do streamers. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to be all the same thing. But like, I just want to find that uniqueness in people and bring it out, and let them show people what the frick they went through or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Yo, Medj, what's going on? Gabriel, Landon, hello guys. How y'all doing today? Yeah, it's gonna be like my life history. You know what I mean? Mr. Sweetface. Thank you, Medj. Yeah, so I'm just trying to pull in other people, because they go all through different things than you and I. Definitely think we have a unique situation just because of what I've been through, and we'll get into it here in a minute. Of what we've done. So we're going to talk about. It's hard to remember. We'll start off at like 13 years old, I think. Right when I think you start high school around 13. I really forget, honestly, like how old I was. It was back in 2011. I think I started high school. You go for 4 years. So yeah, I graduated in 2015. So 2011, I was a freshman. I started high school. Was that 9th grade? So we'll start off there because everything else before that, even some things after that, I don't really remember. I try to remember, and it's very hard to remember. My memory ain't that good, so I'm gonna try my best. There are a lot of things I do remember just because of like the hardship and everything I've gone through. Being like 12, 13 years old or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So are you going to be playing Fortnite now, Landon? Does it look like I'm about to play Fortnite, my guy? I'm lounged up on my casting couch talking to you guys. No, I'm not going to be playing Fortnite. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't even stream on Tuesdays, but we're here, you know what I mean? Yeah, this podcast there, Landon. And for everybody who knows what's going on, I appreciate you guys because it's different. It really is to be part of a community like this and keep up with what we do because I'm trying to be different, man. That's why I want to do this podcast. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be different, trying to open up and be different, and that's going to set us apart from everybody else who's like chasing the same goal as we are. You know what I mean? So why not try to start a podcast? And this is our 5th episode. It doesn't take much. It just takes a lot, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but in like a couple minutes, we'll start it. Let me put it in the Discord that we are live. So if anybody does want to come in, they can 100% obviously come in. Let me share this real quick. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I hope you guys are excited. And again, if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask. Obviously, try to make them appropriate, right? But we can talk about, we'll definitely go down some rabbit holes for sure, and how I think the things I've gone through has helped me today, especially after the military. Because, being 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, even 18 years old, you still don't know what you want to do in life. You still are just like barely growing up. Like you don't know what's going on. People say like 18 you're a grown up. For some people, yeah, like very mature, but man, you got a freaking lot of life in front of you. You got a lot of things to experience, a lot of things to learn, a lot of growing pains, obviously. So I'll try my best to talk about it on how I think it's how I think it's helped me. You know what I mean? Hold on, y'all. Let me share this again. And in the future, when we do get a lot bigger, and it will happen, make no mistake about it, it will fucking happen. We will bring bigger people on here. You guys will see in like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Like just remember where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? And in 5 years from now, remember where we came from. I'm really excited to see it. Like we're gonna have some crazy like makeover. You know what I'm saying? Like holy fuck, it's crazy. And for you guys to be like, yo, I was there during that time. I think that's like more meaningful than you would really honestly think. You know what I mean? Like being an OG almost. I think that's awesome. Yo, Barky, what's going on, man? Welcome in. Brant, what's up? I'll be 73 in 5 years. You wish. No, you don't wish, but you definitely want to be 73 in 5 years. But it's going to be real cool to see the growth on how this podcast really came to life. Like, this is just the baby steps that we're taking in. So it's just a great reminder for everybody out there. If you're, like, waiting or wanting to do something as big as this, you literally just got to do it, man. You just got to take that first step and just start one step at a time and just freaking do it, man. Because when I tell people, they're like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a content creator and I have my own podcast. And they're like, oh, what's the podcast about? And, I tell them everything and it's cool. You know what I mean? It's like, I say it proudly because it's not like, oh yeah, I have a podcast. It's like, yeah, but it's just like, it's not going really well. No, fuck that. Like, I have a podcast, whether it's getting 1,000 views or just 10 views. I'm coming on here, I'm opening up, and we're opening it up to a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just takes time, man. It just takes time. So I'm not, I'm like a living testament for it, if you guys will, So if you're waiting for something to do something in your life, this is your sign right here. This is your sign. All right. So we're gonna start. We appreciate you, Batch. We appreciate your service, your country, and we also love the community. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love. So yeah, we'll start off where I was 13 years old, and growing up, I was always the small kid, man. Like, I was I think I went into freshman year at like 5 foot, maybe like 5'1". And if you guys want to back it up even a little more, because it'll probably be important. I went into special ed. Excuse me. I just ate, so full stomach. But I went into special ed in 3rd grade. Always had a learning disability. That was like my deficiency, I guess, as you can say. Like, I had ADHD. Obviously, like, you guys can just tell my legs shaking. So I got put into special ed at 3rd grade, and I mean, like, it was like legit special ed. I was with like autistic people with some classes. It was just a very modern class. Like, I would only have like maybe 10 to 15 kids, while all the normal classes out there, like in my school, had like 30 to 35 kids. I went to a pretty big school. My brother won the lottery to get into this. It was a charter school, so it was better than a public school, but not like a private school. It's like in between. And so he won his number to get in, and then obviously, like, you just got, if you had siblings, they automatically were able to go there too when they were old enough or later down the road, whatever the case may be. So that's how my sister and I have a brother and a sister. I'm the middle child. That's how we went to this charter school, and god damn, did I hate it, man. I fucking hated it. I think, like, while I was there, I didn't hate it as a kid, because, like, they had a high school, and it was the same exact thing. It was just high school. So it was the same charter school. 9 times out of 10, if you graduate with your class right here, I would say 80% of them went to the high school that they went to the freaking, I guess, the bigger school. You know what I mean? So when I was put into 3rd grade as a special ed, I went all the way up to 8th grade. I was in a special ed all the way up to the 8th grade. And, like, again, there were modified classes that, like, helped me learn, but, like, yeah, I was an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't like school, never did. Obviously I had a speech impediment. Like, I went to speech classes and, the whole nine. You can think of it. I think it's called an IEP or something like that, where, yo, no name, what's going on? Llama, what's up? Hello, welcome in. Yo, Carrie, hello. Sorry. Got focus. So yeah, like I had an IEP, and that's like it's like a tracking system for you to see if you're getting better or getting worse. It's pretty much to see like, hey, can he be normal or is he like fucking stupid still, you know? I don't know, that's how I look at it, but you can already imagine just growing up going through special ed, and I was like a normal kid besides besides like learning. I was a fucking athlete. I played baseball, basketball, football. I freaking, I did some mixed martial arts for a little bit. I swam. I swam in the winter and the summer. So like calendar year round, I was playing sports, man. Like that's what I did. I was a fucking athlete. I loved competing. That's why you guys see me um getting so angry in Fortnite all the time. I was just a fucking athlete. And I was athletic as hell. Like I was an athletic kid. My biggest downside to that is like I didn't have the size growing up. Throughout my whole life, I felt like I was always behind. You know, when 13, like just say like, hey, at 13 you will hit puberty. I didn't hit puberty till 15. I'm just throwing that out as an example. Just with anything, learning anything that I did, I just always felt behind. Like it would take me a little bit to understand and be like, oh, that's how it works. Oh, golly, like and the gears will start grinding. You know what I mean? Like a well-oiled machine. But I was always behind. So growing up, always a small kid. I had the freaking Justin Bieber hair. You already know. That was like the 2000. That was the 2000 thing. Growing up, going through school and everything. So I was bullied a fucking shit ton, man. Like you just imagine, being in special ed because you still went to school with all these normal kids, and they would see you be like, yo, why aren't you in my class? They'd be like, well, you didn't want to tell them you were in fucking special ed because you just were, you didn't know any better. You didn't have that fucking mindset yet. And you just got bullied for it, dude, and I never played sports for my school. I always was a club kid. I always played sports for my club. It's like, I don't know, your local sports team pretty much. If that like makes sense. That's what like a club is. So I played football, basketball, baseball throughout every year. So I never went through the school sports. And I feel like if you went through the school sports, you were that cool kid. You're like, oh yeah, he's the fucking star quarterback for our school. You know what I mean? For me, that's not what I did. And I'm kind of happy it didn't do that way because I had so many friends not in my school, if that makes sense. Like I know the people in my school growing up, but like I wasn't friends with them, you know what I mean? I was always friends with the kids that I played football, basketball, and baseball with because we were in the same thing together. We played sports all year round with each other. 9 times out of 10, we're on the same team every freaking year, Yeah, it is. It's trash. So like growing up being bullied, that fucking now, like, I'm glad it happened. I don't wish it upon anybody, but for me, obviously, I'm glad it happened because it made me stronger. It made me better. The whole cliche of it makes you better. But for me, it definitely did. And I'll go down when we go later in the stories of my life. I'll tell you. I'll let you guys know how it impacted my life of being bullied. So anyway, with special ed all the way up to 8th grade, wanted to go. My brother was a grade above me, so I wanted to go to a high school where all my buddies went that I played fucking sports with. They all went to a Catholic school. It was a high school, all boys Catholic school. I wanted to go there to play football. That was my dream. Just to keep playing ball. I fucking loved it. I was a quarterback. I loved playing it. My biggest thing is like, man, we'll get into that a little bit. But anyway, I wanted to play football. Like my dream was go to the NFL, right? So I remember when I went to 9th grade, the IEP thing that I brought up, they continued that in high school, and I was still in like these special modern classes or moderated classes, and I was like, I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Like you guys are holding me down from reaching my potential because none of you guys want to fucking like let my wings grow. You know what I mean? So it was fucking hard. 9th grade went by. I mean, I pretty much knew everybody in the fucking high school. There was maybe like 400 kids in the whole high school. So from my freshman all the way up to senior, everybody knew each other because the school was like a big square, right? A big old square. And man, I fucking hated every second about it. So 9th grade went by like normal freshman year. I tried out for the baseball team because you got to they didn't have football, so I couldn't try out for football. The high school didn't have football because it was too small. So if you wanted to play football, you had to like go somewhere else to play football. It was pretty trash. And then the only other sport they had was like baseball, and I was like, well, looks like I'm gonna play baseball. So I made the freshman team. I made the varsity team as a freshman because they didn't have no JV team. They didn't have no freshman team again because the school's very small, right? So I made the varsity team, and it was one of them things. It was like I wasn't that good, but I was good enough to be mentored, and they knew, you know, if I continued to play here for the next 3 years, I would become a star as a senior, right? So I was playing baseball for the school. It was fun. Barely got any playing time. It was kind of crazy. I remember going up to bat against this senior pitcher, and he threw the ball like 90 miles an hour past me. I'm not lying. This dude was throwing like 87 and 90 miles an hour past me, and from like going from 8th grade to ninth grade, and then seeing a baseball get thrown that fast from like maybe seeing 65 average. Oh man, it's like it goes by you like a blink of an eye. You're like, holy fuck! I struck out. I remember. I was like, damn. You know, it was like humbling because I was like, holy fuck. This kid's throwing 90 miles an hour fastball at me. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Yeah, like they weren't bad for me either. Like the schools outside or the teams outside the school, but they were public schools, so it was like holy. I didn't even go to school there, so it would have just been so hard to fit in. I'm like, I'm not doing that. The school's like 20 minutes down the road or whatever. I don't know. It was just such a hassle. I'm like, I'll just play baseball. Like I'll give up on my football dream. But I remember when they brought up the IEPs, every like month or 2 months, you had like an IEP meeting, and they would like let your parents know what you were doing and how you were doing, if you were excelling or not, blah blah blah. And I remember talking to this one teacher, and I won't forget him. And you know, I will not forget. No hate against him either. But I won't forget what he said to me because he was like my IED teacher, or I'm saying IED, my IEP teacher. He was just doing his job, and he was being real with me, which is completely understandable. But he's like, what do you want to do in life? Like, what do you want to do when you graduate? Obviously, everyone's answer is probably like, go to college, whatever the case may be. I was like, I want to play in the NFL. Like, I want to be a fucking NFL football player. And he looked at me, and he's like, really? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're a fucking loser. You're not going to get to the NFL. That's like how he looked at me, and I'll never fucking forget it. Great dude though. Don't get me wrong. Like, great fucking guy. I'm not hating against him. I don't have any hate in my fucking heart. But like, that was fucked up. First, that was fucked up. And he's like, well, I'm not going to put that down. I said, why not? Like, I was like, you just asked me what the fuck, like what you wanted me, what I wanted to be. And I told you, like, this isn't some fairy tale. Like if you gave me the work and gave me the right mentors and gave me the right structure, you know, I would 100% give it all I got. If I didn't make it, so be it. I just wanted to go to college and just play ball. That's the only reason why I would go to college, is to play football. So yeah, it was pretty fucked up. And he's like, give me something else. I'm not putting that down. I was like, all right, like, I guess go to the military, right? And he's like, all right. He's like, I can put that down. I said, all right. So that's what happened. Like, you could, and just like from that little conversation, you just could see how much they didn't fucking care and how much they were just like doing their job. You know what I mean? Just like checking the box, not letting us try to get better, excel, and be our fucking selves. You know what I mean? And like who, any other kid who you like at that age, when you ask them what they want to be or what they want to do as their occupation to be, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm a little special. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, like, the average person probably would have been like, go to college or something. I don't know. And again, this is back in the day. It's a little different now, but yeah, like, man, he fucking now I, you know, and I use it as fuel. You know what I mean? Like, I know I won't go to the NFL, but it just shows that there are still people out there that are just destroying your dreams for no reason, right? So anyway, yeah, I was like, all right, I'll go to the military. So he's like, okay. So he puts that down. And at that point, I was like, damn it. If I don't go to the NFL, I'm going to the military. That was like my deciding factor. Like, no NFL, military, no fucking nothing, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that was like what my fucking mind was set on. And then my brother, this is gonna like lead up to this, but my brother, and we're gonna get a little deep here, so strap the in. My brother, he was a year older than me. Oh, he's like 2 years older than me almost. But he was only a grade ahead of me. So my birthday is in August. So I could have been in the class in front of me or the class below me. Like my birthday was right on that cutoff date to where I was either going to be the youngest kid in the highest grade or the oldest kid in the lower grade. So I could have graduated 2016 and graduated at 18, but I graduated in 2015 and graduated at 17. So, it was just one of them things where my birthday lined up. So that's why my brother and I were only a grade apart. He went to our dream high school. Him and I wanted to go to the same high school as the Catholic school that I was talking about to you guys earlier. And it cost quite a bit of money. It cost like 7-8K a year to go to this high school. Because it's a Catholic school. It's private, obviously. They have their own programs. You're paying for the name because, you say you went to this high school. It's like, okay, that holds a little bit more value than this school. It's an all-guys school. Like, we were Catholic too growing up, so he went there. I was pissed off because he went there to go play football, and he did his freshman year, maybe sophomore year. I'm not sure. I forget, but he was a big dude. He, at my age when I was a freshman, he was probably like, he was probably almost freaking 6 foot. He was huge. He had like a size freaking 14 or 15 size foot. Like, he was a big kid. He was huge. And my dad was always, I don't know if he played in like the semi-pros or what, but he was a freak of an athlete for football too. So like, that's why I always wanted to go to the NFL too. Cause like my dad was on like a semi-pro team. And I just wanted to be like that. You know what I mean? I started playing football when I was 4 fucking years old. I put my pads on at 4 years old. And I saw my brother play because you had to be at least 5. And I was like, everything my brother did, I wanted to do. I was like, I want to play fucking football. And they're like, all right, well, if he plays football and he just can't go crying back to his mom and dad. And they're like, that's fine, So boom, they put the pads on me. I'm tough as fucking nails out there. I remember I was started out at like the 55 pounders. And then they moved me all the way up to the 75, like within 2 weeks. So I literally broke a kid's leg. I fucking tackled him. And I was just a fucking savage, man. I was like the Tasmanian devil down there, just ripping through people at 4 years old. I was a fucking beast, man. I'm telling you, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's why I had that dream of always like going to be a football. But what's it called? My stomach is killing me right now, Chad. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I'm gonna throw up everywhere. So I'm trying to keep it cool. But so growing up, obviously, like we said, we played sports the whole time. My dad, man, he was my number one supporter. I played more sports than my brother, so anytime I had practice or a game or a meeting, he always fucking came with me, no matter what. Like my mom, she was barely there. And no hate or no like discourage against my mother, right? My dad was just always there because 9 times out of 10, my dad coached the team that I was on. And he did not favor me at all. He, like, when we had tryouts for football, baseball, basketball, he would never show up because he would never want kids or parents to be like, oh, Batman only made the team because his dad's the coach. Like, his dad was there. So my dad never showed up. And he never even asked for a coaching job. They would always come to him and be like, hey, you want to help us coach? And he would be like, yes. So he was always there for me, man. And he coached his own football. He coached the 75 pounders. So when I was in the 95 to 100 pounders and all in the different leagues, he had his own thing to do. I'm telling you, he would always fucking make it, man. He would always make time. And like from 4 years old all the way up till I was like 13, even when I was playing baseball at that high school level as a freshman, he would always be there. Them practices, everything. So it was very humbling and like definitely took it for granted because it was so normal for him to freaking just be there for me, right? So him and my mom would pay for my brother to go to school, and I begged my mom and dad for me to go to that school, to go to that different judge. It's called Father Judge, the high school. I begged my parents for me to go to that Catholic high school because I fucking hated it. Like I said, felt like I was being held down. There was nothing coming out of it. Like, it was so fucking man, dude, I just hated it so much. I can't put it into words on how much I fucking hated it. Like the way I was treated there, all the way, like the kids, like just everything, man. I just fucking golly, I hated it. So sophomore year comes. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing ball. I'm not playing baseball this year. Like I feel like this is the part where I was like kind of shutting down. Kind of like shutting down. You know what I mean? And like not giving a fuck, kind of going into that like mediocre. I'm not saying like be a bad kid type thing, but like, you know, just not giving a fuck about anything, right? That like teenage years we got into. Um, and man, a lot of stuff was going on at home. A lot of crazy shit was going on at home. My mom and dad, my dad told me they were going to be getting a divorce. Oh man, I remember my dad told me, I don't know why. I think I told this on the podcast before, but he told me before a baseball game that like I was playing in that they were getting a divorce. Obviously, I was like 13, 14 years old. And I was really upset because my mom and dad, they were together for like 20 plus years. We lived all in the same house together. You know what I mean? So nothing but love. Um, and I remember pitching. I was pitching that day. I was a pitcher. I played like pitcher and outfield because I was fast. So they my coach put me in outfield. But this time I was pitching. And I remember I was I had the ball, like, you know, the glove and the ball in my hand, and I'm waiting to throw the pitch. And I just start fucking bawling my eyes out. I just start crying like a mofo. Have you ever had a perfect audience in high school year bats? I think I did. Yeah, my parents go down a rabbit hole. My parents were really strict on like me going to school. My audience was like, "Hey, you're sick. Like if you ain't throwing up on the floor right now, you're going to school. You missed the bus, you're fucking going to school." So like, yes, I went to school. I probably missed no more than like, I'm not even lying, 10 days of my whole education career, of like from fucking kindergarten all the way up to high school. It was crazy. I was like perfect attendance every fucking year. Um anyway, so yeah, I remember sitting there with the glove over my eyes, you know, over my hand. I'm I'm throwing balls. I'm just crying on the mound, and I can't control myself, man. It was, not looking back at it, it was fucking funny. It was funny. You know, being told that as a young kid, you're fucking like, God, I'm not feeling good, Chad. I'll tell you what. Being a young kid, man, you don't want to hear that shit that your parents are getting a divorce, you know? So with them getting divorced, you guys know how it works. It's like, go ask your mom this. No, you gotta go ask your dad that. Blah blah blah. Like it was back and forth, the bickering, the battering. So we lived in a house for a little bit to where it was fucking toxic as hell. Um, with my parents, and it wasn't fun, man. I'll tell you what, it was not fucking fun. Um, and one we they didn't, not one left the house. Like my mom didn't leave, my dad didn't leave, so they were like going through the divorce, and while we were still living in the same house. Um, and that was probably the worst part because, you know, you felt the tension, you felt everything. Everything fell onto the kids, if that makes sense. So obviously, like, my mom moved out of the master bedroom, and guess what she did? She took my room. So I got fucking kicked out of my room, and I moved into the master room with my dad. And like, I don't even remember where my fucking clothes went. Like, I don't remember any. Like, I don't remember how I was able to do it. Like, I slept in the king size bed with my dad. At one point I was sleeping on the fucking floor for a while. I forget why. I'm trying to think, man. I forget why. I think my mom didn't like the mattress or something. I don't know. I forget. I remember sleeping on the floor though. So there was a lot of tension, like I said, and yeah. So I shared a bed with my dad for a while. We shared the same room, the master bed, and again, it was like, ask your mom this. Did you ask your dad? No, your dad's paying. Your dad's paying for it. No, the mom's paying for it. I need a new pair for shoes. Dad's not paying for it. Mom's not paying for it. So what the fuck? You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. It sucks, man. It really fucking does. But this is when I just got done with CCD around this time. CCD is like a Catholic teachings where you get your sacraments done, because I didn't go to a Catholic school, so I wasn't able to get my sacraments done while in school. So Athena. So I went to these classes to get my sacraments done. So I always wanted to join the Boy Scouts. I fucking loved the Boy Scouts. I loved camping. I loved doing stuff like that, right? You know, being with the boys, you know what I'm saying? Doing all this crazy stuff. But I couldn't, because every Tuesday was the meeting for the Boy Scouts, but that's when the classes fell for the Catholic classes that I had to take, fell on that day. So I was never able to go. So I remember around like 13 years old, the classes stopped because I got my last sacrament, so I didn't have to go to them classes anymore. I joined the Boy Scouts, and of course it costs money. You know what I mean? You gotta do your due diligence and pay your bills and whatever. So it was hard to to be like, hey, mom, dad, I wanted to join the Boy Scouts, and they're like, who's paying for it? I'm like, I don't know. You guys are goddamn adults. Like, who the fuck's paying for it, right? My dad was a Boy Scout, so it made me happy. I wanted to be a Boy Scout. So I joined the Boy Scouts at I think I was like 14, 15. It took about a year because of all the bullshit. So yeah, I joined the Boy Scouts. I was stoked. I was excited. And then, oh man, my mom got a boyfriend while they were like still going through the divorce, and fucking what's it called? He would come to the house while my dad was there, and then it was just like no one, my brother, sister, and me didn't like him, and my mom's like, you'll fucking like this guy because blah blah blah. You won't be fucking mean to him or be rude, blah. And it was like we were getting pulled one way or the other. It's like my dad's like, oh, I see you being nice to that dude Rob. His name was Rob. Like, it was like, I want to disown you, but then if we were rude to him, then my mom's like yelling at us. So it was like a lose-lose situation, man. It was fucking hard having him there with my dad there. Very awkward between us. For the kids, I don't know how it was for them. I'm sure it was awkward. And he would come over the house, and man, it got so bad to where like my mom wouldn't cook anymore. So we were like trying to feed ourselves, and she would only cook so much because she didn't want my dad coming down and eating it. And you know what I mean? It was a fucking mess, man. It was like two fucking little kids just fucking going at it, man. And it was fucking rough. But so that all happened. Time goes by. My mom kicked me and my dad out of the master bedroom, and then we went into the room that she was in, and that was my old room. We got bunk beds, and we took them apart. Bunk beds are vertically up. Took them apart, so we had two beds side by side. And it was like, it was just punishing me because like I wanted to have cable. I wanted to have like all this stuff, and I couldn't because my dad was there. So like my brother and sister, they had fucking cable. I didn't have any cable for a while because my dad was in there, and if I had cable, that means my dad had fucking cable. So like I got fucking punished in that sense of like not being able to do anything. Like, it fucking sucked, man. It sucked. It was like I didn't have any, obviously, like no privacy because my dad was there and all this other bullshit. So, I remember having a VCR player. If you guys know, like what a VCR player is. One of them tapes for my younger generation. Look up what a VCR is. I had an old school TV, and I would watch Forrest Gump on fucking repeat every day, like every night, because I went to bed like watching Forrest Gump. That's why I was back in the day, man. I was able to personate Forrest Gump so well, like the whole fucking movie, every line, everything. I was able to do it all, very very well because I watched it every single day, and yeah, it was crazy. It was just insane. Trying to fucking deal with school, and just all this other bullshit that just life throws at you. I need to buy new equipment for sports. It's like, ask your mom, ask your dad. I know we already talked about that, but I just wanted you guys to understand how fucking hard it was. And I just no like I don't want any fucking sympathy. I'm just telling you guys, but yeah. So one day I remember it was like I just turned 15. August I've turned 15. Um, and November came, and I was supposed to go paintballing with my mom's boyfriend, the Rob guy. Uh, it came to a point to where they weren't selling the house. So like once the divorce was final, the house is going on the market. We're selling it. So my dad's looking for places. My mom's looking for places. Like the kids' lives, my brother, sister, and I, our lives are about to turn upside down. Like we don't know what the fuck we're doing, where we're moving to. People are coming in to look at the house. They're offering cash. Like this was all within a week span of like, people wanted to buy our house. This was back, man. I don't even remember 2013. Um, so it was fucking real. It was about to happen. Like the divorce was about to have finalized. The house was about to get sold. Like we were fucking. I don't know. I don't remember that much, but one day. Well, before we get to that one day, so I remember we had a flood in the basement. We had a basement flood happen. The hot water heater broke. Water went everywhere. If you had to have a flood in your basement, it sucks, especially if you have rug. You gotta rip everything out, get all the mold out of there, air it out, so on and so forth. And I always wanted my own room, so I'm like, all right, why? This is like a fresh start. Why can't I move down there? I'll move some of the furniture down there from the room that I live in now. I had like one dresser, with like 4 or 5 drawers. I would move my bed down there, the bunk bed. um, so I would sleep down there just to have some privacy, right? Just to have like my own room and to start like customizing my own room, and you know what I mean, just like show some personality in there. So I slept in the basement. It was like a dungeon because the rug didn't get fixed. Like it took a while, man. It took a while for that basement to get redone, but I didn't care. Like I would sleep on the couch for a little bit until I got the bed and stuff down there. So my dad was like a little upset because I guess he wanted me up there still with him. But I was like, I'm sick of it, man. I need to move down. I need to have my own room. Like I'm like 15 at this point. I'm like, I need to have my own fucking room, man. Um, so I lived in the basement, and every night I would go up talk to my dad because I feel like I talked to him more obviously than my mom. And one big thing too I left out. My dad was a big drinker. He was definitely a drunk. So he drank a lot. He would come home drunk sometimes, more times than not, even if he just had like 1 or 2 beers, whatever. But yeah, he was definitely drinking a lot, and I felt that full force because I lived with him. I lived in the same room with him, so I felt that full force. I would be sleeping, and he would come in at night drunk as fuck. Um, and yeah, he just drank a lot, and then like as things just kept getting worse, it was like Murphy's Law. Shit just kept getting fucking worse. He blew his knee. He was a undertaker, so he like buried dead people. He was like top. He was at the top. He was the boss there at the church that he buried people. He made decent, really good money. Especially being at the top. His hours were great. That's why he was always able to take me to work or to sports and stuff like that because you got done work at like 2 or 3 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon. So he I don't know. He was like lowering something, and he blew his ACL out, and he had to get surgery. He tore his ACL. He was on workman's comp, so obviously he wasn't getting as much money as he normally would. So man, it was just like all funneling downhill so fucking fast. Especially now that I look back at it, it was like, damn man, it just like one thing after another just kept going down and down and down and down. So yeah, maybe he like really started picking up drinking because of the ACL tear or whatever. I don't know, but anyway, um, the one night, oh man, the one night he freaking, I heard the like thud. He fell pretty much. Like long story short, he fucking fell on the ground, and I went up, and I never liked talking to him while he was drunk because it was like, I don't know, it's just very awkward for me. I never fucking liked it. It felt weird, blah blah blah. So I went upstairs, man, and I thought he was passed out on the floor drunk. And this was like late at night. Like not late at night, not like 12, 1 o'clock, but it was like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I went up to say goodbye or whatever. I heard the thump, so I went up to see, and he was on the floor, and I'm like, I'm not fucking with him, man. Like, I'm not touching him because if he's drunk, like, nothing else crossed my mind besides the fact that he was fucking drunk, and he wasn't. And I remember the next morning, early in the morning, um, my mom's boyfriend and I, Rob, we went paintballing, and my sister went into the room to like go see what was going on or whatever to say hi to him, and he was unresponsive. Like, long story short, he had a heart attack like pretty much right in front of me when I went up there to see what was going on. When I thought he was drunk on the floor, um, and he pretty much like fucking he was dead. Like, by the time he hit the floor, he was fucking dead. And so my sister found him, which is kind of fucking shitty. She was younger than me. She was probably like 12. So it's pretty hard for her, like, to physically see that, you know what I mean? And for me, like, mentally to think about it, like, I know he was probably dead, but I could have done something. Like, he was cold to touch because my mom's a nurse, so she went up there and he was fucking dead. Like, all night he was fucking dead. So for me to think there, I was like, maybe I could have done something. Maybe, like, I don't know. I thought he was drunk, you know what I mean? But long story short, he had a fucking heart attack, and he fucking died before he even hit the floor. That's what they said. They said it was a massive heart attack, and he fucking died. So I remember we had to come home from paintball. I was emotional. Don't get me wrong, but I did not. I shredded tears. In the car ride going back home. Rob, he didn't know what to do, man. He was just like, it was probably very awkward for him. So I remember going home, and man, you should have just seen all the fucking cars like around the fucking house, like up the street, down the street. Like, so many people came to see to see if we were okay. My brother and my sister and me, because we had like I said, we played a lot of sports, so like we had a big community, big, family around us, and my dad was a lovable guy. Like, obviously everyone really liked him, especially coaching wise and stuff like that. So I just remember seeing everybody. My brother and sister are crying. I'm sitting there like, I'm not crying, man. I swear. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me, but I wasn't crying. I was very upset. I only cried at night by myself in my fucking bed. That's when I cried. So like, it was hard, man. It was real fucking hard. So we had the funeral and everything. People are hitting me up left and right, like, are you okay? I didn't want to talk to anybody, do anything. My mom was really worried about me on like what I was doing as a like how I was doing, because I was like fucking I was like rock fucking solid, like straight fucking face, you know what I mean? Like, people were worried about me. They were like, holy shit. They probably thought I was about to, like, I don't know, go do something crazy, you know what I mean? My mom wanted me to go see help. She wanted me to go talk to a therapist because I wasn't like being emotional, and man, it was fucking hard, It was just fucking rough. I was like 15, and he was there all the time, you know what I mean? Like, all my sports, everything. So we had a funeral. It was an open casket. That was hard too. If you guys ever experienced like an open casket funeral? Like, holy fuck, man. That shit's rough. Doesn't matter if they look great or not in that casket. Like, you're just seeing your loved one fucking just laid out on the casket, like no soul in them. You know what I mean? It's fucking rough, dude. Hold on. And I mean, so my mom, I know she's upset. I don't know, like, I'm sure she was sad because she grew up with my dad. They got married very young, 20 plus years together. So I'm sure she was upset, but it didn't seem like it, man. I'll tell you what, like, I feel like she was more upset for us than she was that her life partner, even though they were getting a divorce, just fucking died. Like, my dad was 52 when he passed. So it was like, I don't know. It was like fucking weird. It was like weird vibes. I was like, I didn't know if my mom was upset for real or like she was just pretending to be upset because, we're upset. So yeah, that was like a fucking smack in the face, man. We had the open, like I said, we had the funeral. Man, we were standing for fucking hours. The line that just wrapped around the fucking building, like around the corner outside to come in, because for a funeral you would come in, show your respects to the family. You'd bend down, say a prayer, or like touch the shoulder of the person, and then you would leave, or you would sit there for the service. But holy fuck, man, I remember standing for like almost, I felt like 5 fucking hours. I doubt it was not that long, but yeah, it was long. Like, it was long as hell. I felt like I was there for a very, excuse me, sheesh, for a very long time. People, I would say, like, man, like 300 plus, 400 plus people showed up. That's what it felt like. And of course, it was sad seeing everybody, crying. And he was a big part of my mom's side of the family. Everybody fucking loved him on that side. My mom's side, from my mom's side, it's a very big Italian family. Lot of brothers and cousins and aunts and uncles on that side. So of course, being around the family for 20 plus years, you build that really strong relationship, especially with all my uncles. It was hard, man. It was fucking hard seeing everybody there crying. And then, yeah, the last thing I remember is, my brother and sister, they're crying. And again, I don't know why I'm laughing, but like, I'm fucking like rocks. I was tearing up, but like, I fucking was rock solid. Like, I kept a straight face until we had to close the casket. So like, when everybody's done, the my brother, my sister, and I, we went up to my dad and we draped over the blanket or the cover, whatever he was like laying in, and then they would shut the casket because he got crucified. He got not, what's it called? Is it cremated? I said crucified. Like, holy fuck. He got cremated. He got cremated. So they just, that was the last time me seeing him on Earth. Is folding that blanket. It was sad. It was really fucking sad. Folding the blanket over him. So yeah, it was sad, And again, I never cried about it. I never cried in front of people. So I remember being in the basement by myself, and I would just cry, man. I would just fucking cry in bed, like late at night, just fucking cry about it. 'Cause I felt like it was weird for me to talk to people. Now I don't think it's weird, right? I can always sit here and just talk to you guys about stuff. But like, when you're fucking 15 years old, like the last thing I got from my dad was a happy birthday card when I turned 15. Like, I have like a whole memorial of them, but it fucking sucks. And with all that being said, like, time went on. Obviously, we didn't sell the house because the divorce never got finalized. So my mom was a widow. And when you have a parent that passes away, the government gives you money per child to help like compensate the income that the other significant other brought into the household. So with that being said, like, we didn't have to sell the house. And my junior year came around, and I was able to go to that college, that freaking Catholic high school that I always wanted to go to because my mom was getting money every month for me, so she used that for me to go there. And before we even get there, I remember being sophomore year, right? Because that's when he passed away, when I was like 15. I was a sophomore in high school, and I was out of school for like 2 weeks at least. So yes, Andrew, my perfect attendance did get fucked up, and I take back what I said with the 10 days, no more than 10 days, because I remember I did miss a lot of time with him dying. And I remember coming back, and nobody knew what happened. Like, everyone's like, where were you at? And I'm like, well, obviously I didn't fucking tell them, but I don't know. I guess the teachers knew, but like, yeah, it was hard going back to school because it was like awkward for me because I already fucking hated the school, right? I didn't fucking want to go back there. And then I had to deal with all the fucking rock eaters over there, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was crazy. It was fucking insane. So I fucking hated it, man. I hated it so fucking much. So going back was rough. And then, oh man, this is where like it even got even like more fucked up. So I think I was a junior. So a couple months later, my mom bought her first shore house. She was very happy. We had a trailer down there, like down by the shore, like by the coast. And my mom bought her first like house down there, like a legit house to actually go on vacation down there. And we always brought my grandmother, my mom's mom, always over, full Italian grandmom. So she was awesome. Um, her name was Raffaella Bianchino, so it was like very Italian name. She came over every Sunday. She would always make meatballs, like very Italian. It was great. I don't know the timeline between when my dad passed to when this happened with her, but I remember she was getting older, and my mom bought the shore house, and my mom would always tell my grandma, like, Mom, I can't wait for you to come down to the shore and see the house, and you're gonna be so happy and so, like, you're gonna love it, blah blah blah, right, the whole nine. And my grandmom, she lived by herself, and she had like one of them caretakers, people who they didn't live there, but they would come over and help her with stuff. And for some reason, man, it's so weird. Like, she knew, she was like, I'm not gonna be able to see the shore house. That's what she told the like caretaker. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, you're going down this weekend? Like, you're gonna go down this weekend and see the shore house with your daughter, and I'm going. Like, I remember I wasn't supposed to go. I begged my mom. I was like, Mom, please let me go with you. I don't want to go to school. Like, let me miss Friday. I'll drive down with you. I'll take care of you guys. Blah blah blah. So she's like, no, 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 no. And then finally, like Thursday, she's like, hey, you're gonna come down the shore with us, with grandmom and me. I was like, oh hell yeah! Like, I was super freaking happy, right? Um, so we went down the shore. It's me, my mom, my grandmom, and our dog. She's a German Shepherd. Her name's Reagan. She's a puppy. She not a puppy. I mean, she's maybe like 1 or 2 years old. She's probably like 2 years old at this point, maybe. We're driving down. My grandmom had a pee. She had she had bladder problems, so she was old, right? She was old. So we took her into a Chick-fil-A, and my mom's walking her to the bathroom, and she fucking fell, like, out of nowhere, just fell, and she broke her fucking hip, falling, and she pissed. Usually when, like, you fall and you piss your pants, like, she pissed her pants when she fell. So my mom had to clean her up in the bathroom. The hip was broken. So I'm like, oh my god, it's just going wild. Like, we're hungry, wanted to eat. My mom cleaned her up. We got her back in the car. My grandmom's in the front seat. My mom's driving. I'm in the back with the dog. Out of fucking nowhere, my grandmom just like just stops responding. She just had a cardiac arrest, pretty much, like she freaking cardiac arrest. We're on the highway too. We're about to get on the highway. My mom like put it in reverse, backed it up into the parking lot. We fucking jumped the curb, man. And she's reclining the chair. She had to reach over and like recline the chair back. Again, my mom's a nurse, so she starts doing compressions in the car. My dog's licking my grandmom's face. She's sitting there licking my grandmom's face. Obviously, the dog has no idea. She's like, Marcus, go get help. So we're in New Jersey. I have no idea where we're at. And I literally jumped out of the car while we were still like backing up over the parking lot, like curb thing. I'm on the phone with 911, and I'm like calling them. And I ran into Chick-fil-A. I'm like, where are we at? I was like, I need to fucking know right now. Like, where are we? And they're like, oh, we're so-and-so. So I told the 911. They came. My mom revived her in the car, like got her heart pounding again in the car. So the CPR she did was what worked. And then when the ambulance came, they grabbed her, they put her on the stretcher. Obviously she had a broken hip, so they took her anyway. And she was stable. She was great. So they took her to a hospital, and I forget what it was, 6. My grandmom had 6 or 7 kids. I forget. Something like that. 6 or 7. So she's in the hospital in New Jersey. My mom drove me down to the house. She dropped me off. She's like, I got to go be with grandma. I'm like, okay, no worries. So I was at the house by myself, and there was like nothing in this house. It was kind of crazy. It was very lonely. And yeah, she was in stable condition for a while, and then one night, I think it was like that Saturday or something, she passed away in the hospital. I'm like 99% sure it's in the hospital. I don't think they like discharged her or anything. So all the kids came, the brothers and sisters, they came and were saying their last goodbyes to my grandmom in the hospital. And so I was dead. God, it was crazy. I'm telling you, this was like a couple months after my dad passed away. So We didn't go back to school for like another week. So Andrew, there's another one for you. So yeah, it was just like the bang. It was like bang that happened, then bang that happened. So my mom lost her mom, and then you know we lost our dad. So it was like we were both hurt. My mom was hurting, obviously. She was the youngest out of, I think it was six. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and count, but I think she was six, the youngest. Hold on, knock it off. Trying to where were we? Oh yeah, so she was the youngest. So she was a little special, you know what I mean? It was special because she was the youngest. But yeah, it was man, it was like a rough few months. I was still a sophomore. Just a couple months later, and my God, it was fucking insane. It was hard. So fast forward, sophomore year's over. I don't remember anything after that. Like trying to remember, but I don't really remember anything after that. Um, we always had support because of what happened with my dad and everything. So we got a lot of people like reached out to us, blah blah blah. And then with my grandmom dying, so a lot more people reached out. And then yeah, with him passing away, I was able to go to that high school, and I was happy, man. I freaking went there, and like again, I already knew everybody because of playing sports, with the club sports with everybody. Because all my friends that I played sports with, they they were at this high school. So I went to this high school already knowing everybody. I was like, man, this is great. It was like a legit fucking high school. You had ESP, and it was an all guys school, which I loved. I loved an all guys school. Like it was fucking great. I didn't have to worry about any girls or anything. No drama, none of that bullshit. It was it was more mature than where I was. If you wanted to fight, man, you just fucking threw your books down and just started brawling. Like it was awesome, man. It was a good time. Is everything down to like the school spirit, the spirit week you have. Like we would have dunk contests, freaking. It was like a daycare, man. That's like what it came down to, and people knew that it was like a daycare. It was so much fun. I loved it. Of course, I was in like the lower tracks for education wise, but I did fine. I fucking passed. Like I might have had a low ass GPA, but I still fucking passed. Right? I didn't care. So junior year came around. I played football there. I loved it. I was already way behind, like being real with y'all. I was already way behind on everything because these kids that are juniors already have their feet wet on like how the play calling works, all this other crap. Because they came in from freshman year, whatever. They've been playing, and I remember freshman year I didn't play. I didn't play at all, and that one year hurt so much. I was playing baseball, but the coach was like, "What do you play?" I said, "Quarterback." I was like, honestly, anywhere. Because growing up, I played quarterback, I played running back, I played tight end. I was on the fucking line at one point. I was a dog on defense. I loved playing defense, man. I love tackling people, just fucking hitting them. You know what I mean? But so I was like, I played quarterback, and we had like, what do we have? Two quarterbacks already. We had two quarterbacks already. The one was a senior, the other kid was a junior. He was in the same class as me. And, so I was behind. I was way behind. So I didn't even get to play. I didn't play at all. Like, fucking at all. And we had a JV team. There was people on the JV team. But guess what? They didn't have a fucking quarterback. And, you want to have more on like a high school football team. You want to have at least 3 quarterbacks on your varsity team. But I played varsity. I played the JV team. So it was good reps. Don't get me wrong. But holy fuck. Man, I was getting killed every game we played. We even had some other varsity kids that were playing linebacker and stuff come down and play like tight end for us because we had no receivers. We had one kid on the offensive line, never played a snap of football in his fucking life. And this man's like my left tackle. So I was getting dogged on every single week. And I don't know why we didn't just be like, hey, we don't have a JV team. My coach was like, no, we have a JV team. And, we just made shit fucking happen. It was awful, man. I remember, we did a lot of QB runs because I was fast, so we did a lot of like read options and stuff. And oh my gosh, man, I would get hit so much because the line sucked. Anytime I would go drop back for a pass, I got fucking swacked, like just hit hard. Because all the other team, the other schools, they had like a well-developed JV team. Because 9 times out of 10, you played on the JV team. You know, the next year or two, you're on the varsity team. Like that's what it was. It was like a mentoring stage for you. You know, for me, I was helping out, I guess. You know what I mean? And my God, dude, I would get fucked up. I got like a stress fracture on my foot, but that was about it. I never got hurt though. I was like, my coach even gave me props. He's like, dude, I see you getting hit all the time. He's like, you're a tough fucking kid, man. Because I was getting dogged, dude. It was crazy, but I was happy. You know, I was happy. I was playing football. I was doing my thing. I was still doing the Boy Scouts thing, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, reality check. It was like, hey, what are you gonna do next year? Your senior year's coming up. What are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna go to college. You gotta start applying. This, that, and the other. And again, I was like, well, I'm gonna go to. I didn't get any offers. We had like Penn State come down for this running back, and I was like, hey, maybe I could run a 40-yard dash for you, and see what I got. But like, there was no offers anywhere. I couldn't even probably play a D3, dude. I'm not trying to like make excuses, but I didn't have that mentorship that I fucking needed to mold me to be the fucking player. Even if I like switched sides and went to go be a safety or a cornerback or whatever, I didn't have that, man. Definitely didn't have that. So senior year came. I started really getting into the Boy Scouts because I wanted to become an Eagle Scout. If for the ones who don't know what like an Eagle Scout is, it's the highest award you can get in the Boy Scouts. You like made it to the top. The odds of you making it to Eagle Scout are slim to none. It's very hard to make. It holds a hefty load to it. No pun intended. Like, you say you're an Eagle Scout, it's like, boom, like, people want you. They eat that shit up. It's like saying you have a fucking master's degree. It's obviously not as that severe, but it got me like two ranks in the military. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, so it just held a good, like, I don't even know how to put it. It just held it. It was just like strong, Hey, I was an Eagle Scout. I was like, oh, everyone just started bowing down. I'm not trying to make it that severe, but that's how it was like, especially on paper. Like if you're trying to do something, right? So I stopped playing football my senior year because I really focused on the Boy Scouts, which is crazy to think about now because I'd rather play football than do the Boy Scouts thing. But like again, everything happens for a reason, chat. This is why like everything fucking happens for a reason. But what was I about to say? Stop playing football. So like, boom, the stuff started coming around to take the test for the military, which is it's called the ASVAB, I think, right? The ASVAB. And I failed it. Like I failed the test to get into the fucking military, man. And like, man, I was for so long in my life, not so long, but for a certain amount of time in my life, I had no idea what the fuck I wanted to do, where I wanted to be. Like, man, it was hard, dude. And like my mom was really strict on us, and a lot of shit was still going on at home, dude. Like, oh my God, man, there was so much drama that I fucking hated. So like, golly, I just, my mom wanted us to go to college. She has like her nursing degree and all this other shit. So she did the right thing and went to college and did her time. But dude, I just so lost, man. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, and then I was so dumb. I was just so fucking stupid. But then again, I was like, if it didn't interest me, I didn't want to fucking do it. So like school, not interesting. Didn't want to fucking do it. Like I read books, but it was all military and like World War stuff because that's what I liked. I liked history. Math was probably my strongest suit. But like reading a paragraph about fucking little Timmy going down to the store because he had 8 apples, gave 5 to fucking, Sophia, and she had oranges, and they mixed them, and they fucking made them fuck with each other, and then like what color did they make? I didn't give a fuck about that shit. Like that shit was not interesting. Like, I fucking hate that kind of stuff. Like writing analysis bullshit, right? And I started preaching to my mom. I was like trying to make a point to where I was like, um, the most successful people in the world never went to college. I was trying to picture the whole college thing, like Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, like all these guys, the most successful people in the world never went to fucking college. Like, how crazy is that, And I'm like, oh, I'm just telling her about all this stuff. And it got to a point. She's like, she wasn't gonna kick me out, but like I didn't like the shit that was going on. She's like, I'm gonna kick you out. So I was like, fuck. I called my aunt. I remember crying on the phone, like I was gonna go live with my dad's sister. She took my phone from me. I worked, so I was working at like a grocery store. Yeah, it was just hard, man. Like hard times for sure. Like senior year, like my goodness, just all the stupid little bullshit in between. But I talked to a recruiter. I don't know what made me go with the Marines. I don't remember why I wanted to go with the Marines. But even growing up, I was so fascinated with war movies. Black Hawk Down really stuck with me, and it was so weird that it really stuck with me because we'll get into it soon. But I actually had like a part in that time of, not that time of history, but like where I deployed to in Africa, related back to that movie, which is so crazy. But we'll get to that. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah. So I reached out to the recruiter. We started talking. I remember I talked to the recruiter. I didn't fucking talk to him for like weeks, maybe like 8 weeks. I fucking ghosted him. Fucking ghosted him. I went up to a Boy Scout camp. I worked up there for the summer. Well, like, even before that, I was 17 when I graduated, so I couldn't sign up for the Marines for myself. My mom wouldn't sign for me because you got to be 18 to join the military. But if you're 17 and you're already graduated high school, you can have consent from your family to let you join. My mom wouldn't sign for me. She's like, I'm not signing my life sons away, blah, blah, blah. She didn't want me to go to the military, obviously, so she was pushing real hard for me to go to college. So I went up to the Boy Scout camp. I worked there. I lived there for like 9 weeks. Got paid pretty well. It was fun, man. It was like just a small step to what I do now. It was like I was teaching kids how to fucking swim, how to overcome their fear in the water. Be confident in fucking swimming. You know what I mean? That's what I was. I was like a lifeguard pretty much, and I gave them their swimming merit badge. And which was a merit badge you had to get the Eagle. So like to get an Eagle Scout, you had to make sure you have every Eagle Scout merit badge, and swimming was one of them. So it was a little bit more reason like there was a lot more reasoning, or not reason. There was a lot more man, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Meaningful. It was a lot more meaningful for kids to come through and actually learn how to swim and do CPR and get confident in the water, because it made them better to get to go to Eagle Scout. So I did that. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Teaching kids, showing I was a great swimmer, so I was really able to show my skills and to the kids and help them out. Reach a goal. I was part of their fucking. I was a little piece of their puzzle to their fucking success, and that's what I loved, and that's why in the Marine Corps I was the same fucking way. But we'll get to that. So anyway. Come back from the boot camp, or from the Boy Scout camp. Yeah, I remember the Marine recruiter showing up on my doorstep, knocking at the door, and I hid like a fucking rat. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing here, right? I don't know why, too. Like, I really don't fucking understand why I hid. Like, I don't understand why. I don't know. But anyway, I talked to him. We get the thing going. He gave me the test to get into the Marine Corps, the ASVAB. I failed it. There was a practice test to the test, and some of you guys already know this story. I failed the practice test twice or once, I don't know. And then I passed it, and then I was able to go and take the real test. The real test just determines on what job you're going to have or qualifies you for the Marine Corps. So the higher score you get, like a 90, it's a little different than like, hey, getting 100 out of 100. But the higher you got, the higher qualification of a job you can get in the Marine Corps, which in the long run, outside the military life, will benefit you more. So like if you're an aviation mechanic in the Marine Corps, Say that requires like an 80 score. If you did 4 years and got out, you were able to get a job like pretty much instantly anywhere because you're already aviation mechanic. You got all the certs, you got all the fucking schooling done. No money's got to be given out. You know what I mean? So a lot of companies would just take you because you already have everything done, like all your certs and everything. So I take this test, man. I go up there, and it was like 2 hours away. So I'm taking time out of this recruiter's day to drive me up there. I slept over there at night, took the test. I fucking failed, of course. I failed the test. He picks me up. We drive back home. He's like, all right, we'll go back up there in 2 weeks. I was all right, cool. Drive me back up. I failed again. And like at this point, my mom's like, holy fuck, like you got to do something with your life. You know what I mean? Like you need to fucking do something with your life. I was like, oh my gosh. And at this point, I don't even know what my brother's doing. Like, I think he's going to community college. So, like, by the way, my brother doesn't have a high school or a college degree. I don't have a college degree, and my sister does not have a college degree either. So the college obviously did not fucking work out. But and my dad didn't have a college degree either. Like, it's just man, we'll get into it. But yeah. So I failed it again. He drove again, taking like 2 to 4 hours out of a recruiter's day. Is huge because they could be doing that time to meet quotas, which is like, hey, I need 2 people to sign up and say they're joining the Marine Corps every month. So like I'm taking time out of their time to recruit to try to get kids. You know what I mean? So that's why it was like a big deal that I'm failing these tests. And then, third time's a charm. He's like, hey, this is the last time, man. He's like, I can't keep driving up here, blah, blah, blah. This is the last time. So I was like, damn, this is the last time. So I freaking went up there. I gave it my all. I was studying. I had a tutor come out to me and try to teach me how the ASVAB worked. My mom's like, hey, since you failed twice, you're going to take the ACT, I think it's called. Yeah, the ACT is like to get into college. I'm like, all right. I remember going to school or going to the school and taking the ACT. And I'm like, God, I just wanted to fucking blow my fucking brains out, man. I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. So I remember taking that within the time too. I was taking all these tests. And then I'm at the hotel, man, and my recruiter calls me and he's like, you passed. And I got like on my knees. I was thanking God. I was like, holy fuck. Like, thank you so much. I was so happy. I got the lowest score possible though, but I fucking passed. God damn it, I fucking passed. And this was probably around Christmas time, so like 2015 of Christmas. And I got a call like January. They're like, hey, some kid just dropped out. Do you want to go in? I was like, fuck yeah. So I went in, signed my contract, did everything I wanted to do. I was going to be an M1A1 tank crewman, which is like a personnel in the tanks for the Abrams. If you guys know what type of tanks we use. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch Fury. Like, if you ever seen that movie Fury? Yeah, Fury. I think I'm saying it right? Fury? Is it Fury? I think it's Fury. I don't know, but whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That's pretty much what I was going to be doing. And as soon as I was like going to go in and sign my contract, the recruiter's like, hey, you're not leaving. I was like, what do you mean? I was like fucking pissed. He's like, some kid took your job. He's like, some kid took the contract, you're out. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yep. He's like, you're going to leave April. And this is like, again, February time frame probably. And I was like, okay, what's my job? He's like, oh, you're going to go into open contract. And I was like, oh, yeah, like open contract. Now looking back at it, I was like, fuck that. But like, you could pick any job you want. Like, as long as you qualify, you can get any job you want, blah, blah, blah. And they were, just eating me up, whatever. So April came. I left April. Open contract. Had no idea what my job was. My mom was really upset. She like swore up and down I was going to become a robot. Like, they were going to fuck me up mentally and physically. I mean, they did technically, but we were still at war, so there's a lot of shit going on. We were still in the Middle East fighting. And obviously, like, I'm the Marine in my family. My two cousins, they were in the Army, and they went to Iraq both times. So they kind of know. My mom was like, kind of knew what war did to them, like what it would probably do to me. Especially being in the Marine Corps. If you guys don't know what the Marine Corps, it's first one's in. You know, something happens, Marines are first one in. And the saying always was, first one's in, first one's out. And with that being said, it was like, your first one's in, your first one's coming out, like in a body bag. So being a Marine was like, you knew what you were doing. You know what you were signing up for. You weren't joining for college. You weren't joining to, you know, do whatever. You were joining to 9 times out of 10 go to war and fucking fight. Right? That's like most Marines think about. At least I think that way. I don't know. Some other people aren't going to agree with me, but that's how I thought. So anyway, April came. I was in the debt program for like 1 month, which is like, it's like the inactive time you serve. I was in there for 1 month. Went to boot camp. I went to Paris Island, South Carolina. Did boot camp down there for 3 months. And man, I'll tell you what. Like, remember I was telling you about being bullied and all this other shit. Like, this is real fucking world. I'm 18. I'm young. Like, this is real fucking world. This is real life. Like, this is life or death. You're at boot camp. It's like I don't know. You just got to go there and experience it. It's so hard to explain of like how this fucking disciplined you got to be to go there. You gotta just move fast, scream. So much shit goes into it. And like, again, you're in the Marine Corps. You're in the finest fighting force the world's ever seen. So we held that with great fucking honor and courage. You know what I mean? And we really wanted to, as recruits or, you know, people who at boot camp, really wanted to uphold that honor. So I took it very seriously. As you guys know, like, everything in my life I take very fucking seriously, especially stuff like this. So again, I don't know how I found myself here, but I remember sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck did I just get myself into, man? Because like when I was joining, I didn't look up any YouTube videos on how the Marine Corps was. I didn't look up what boot camp was. I didn't know the position of attention. That's like when you stand up straight. I didn't know how to fucking salute. Like, I didn't know my general orders. I didn't know jack shit about the fucking Marine Corps. All I knew is that they were fucking badass and they killed motherfuckers. Like, that's all I knew, and that's like all I wanted to do, right? So yeah, 3 months of boot camp was fucking hard, but goddamn, it was a fucking hell of a time. Like, I would do it in a heartbeat again. I loved the freaking organization. I loved the scheduling. I loved how disciplined everybody was. It was like a fucking unit, you know what I mean? Like, it was awesome. I loved it. It sucked so much. Do not get me wrong. Like, that's like in a nutshell how the Marine Corps is when you do your 4 years or in the military in general. Like, it sucked so fucking much. But dude, it was the best time of your life, and you had no idea until you're out, right? But anyway, 3 months there. Like I said, being bullied and everything, this really just set you up for it. It was like a stepping stone. So like being bullied in school here, going to boot camp here, getting screamed at, getting fucking screamed at, physically hit, like all this crap. It was the next step up. Like, you're being bullied. You know, and people want to say, oh, you're being hazed. Like, you're being bullied, man. You got spit on. You got fucking shat on. Like, you got fucking hit. You know what I mean? You got shit thrown at you. You were getting fucking breathing in bleach. You're fucking, it's just, it was crazy. It was fucking insane. And I took it very seriously. I did. I would die for it, you know, especially at boot camp. You're like all fucking motivated. You just got that spirit inside of you. You're a fucking dog. Like, oh man, you know, you just get you going. But after that 3 months, you're for like within a year probably of your 4-year contract, you're in a time slot of just schooling. You got to get all your qualifications. You got to get schooling done. You get medical done. You got to get all this stuff done. 3 months of that, and then you're off to your next duty station, which is either ITB, which is infantry training, or it's called MCT. It's somewhat the same thing, but just watered down because your main job's not infantry. So I went to MCT, where you get like a month worth of infantry training, on how to be a basic grunt. Like, hey, here's a map and a pen and a fucking compass. Here's your rifle. Here's your grenades. You know, go to this point, and you got to go land nav. So like, you it is a very basic fucking infantry school. And then after that month, you would go to your school that you signed for. So like the job that you signed for. I figured out I was a Moto T operator. Yeah, we got perfect with the member. I don't know who to, but hey, perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not really looking at it. I'll read some comments when I'm done. I'm done soon. I'm trying to breeze by this right now, this military talk, and then I want to talk about my life after the military. So yeah, you go to your school. I found out I was a Moto T operator, which are the ones who drive trucks, drive convoys, shoot the guns off the trucks, do resupplies for food, freaking what's it called? Food, water, materials, whatever it is, ammunition. So I went to Missouri. I went to another state. It was like halfway across the. It was like dead middle of the United States. So I went from the coast to the middle. I was there for, I want to say, oh man, I'm trying to think. Graduated in July, August. So I was there for about 3 months. So August to October, I did my military school training. I went to, learn how to drive trucks, and they're big trucks, and there's a lot more that just goes into learning how to drive them trucks. And then after that, you hit your first duty station, and I went back to North Carolina, on the East Coast, and there, man, it was I hit the floor, I hit the ground flat on my face when I got there, man. Like, again, I felt like, going back to what I said before, I'm always late to learning things. But once I learn how to do things, I fucking excel at it, right? So I hit the fucking ground flat on my face. It's just like kind of like boot camp. You're running around, you're obeying your fucking higher ups. You're spot on. You're the bottom of the daggone barrel. You're the dirt. You're at the bottom of the fucking barrel, right? You're the shit on the shoe, pretty much. You do everything, all the shitty jobs you're fucking doing because you're a new kid on the block, and that's just how it goes. You gotta learn how to fucking fight and come out of the trenches. So when you're a leader, you know what it's like to come out of the trenches. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hit the floor flat on my face. I got in a lot of trouble. And everybody thought because I was getting in trouble, and it wasn't because I was like doing it on purpose. Like I was just getting misled. Like it was poor fucking leadership. And I wish I could see the guys that misled me now and tell them how fucking bad they did. You know what I mean? But they didn't care. It was a whole ego thing, right? They just misled me. I got in trouble for it. No one got held accountable besides myself. But again, everything happens for a fucking reason, Chad. And that's like another life lesson. Like, if that shit didn't happen, it wouldn't make me the guy that I am today, like the Marine that I am now. You know what I mean? So I got in a lot of trouble. Nothing bad. I didn't get like thrown in the brig or jail or anything. I just got my ass chewed out. I got yelled at a lot. I got a lot of paperwork done. But that paperwork doesn't stick for very long. But I was still a good Marine. Like, my fucking uniform was squared away. I was sharp. I was fucking fit. I was running. I was like, my scores were off the charts. You know what I mean? Like, fitness wise, I was just getting in trouble at my job. So I hit my first duty station in October. 7 months later, I deployed. The unit was set for deployment. We went to Africa. For the ones who don't know, I went to Africa. I was there for about 9 months. And I fought to get on there. I wasn't on the roster to go at all. Because again, when they're like, hey, we got to pick people to go to deployment, they want to pick the best people to go. You know, they'll leave the shit bags and the people who can't go behind, and they'll bring the best ones out there because you're representing the unit at that point when you're deploying, right? So I remember this dude, oh man, this fucking guy. I don't even know how he got picked to go, but he failed his fitness test to go. You had to run 3 miles with under a certain amount of time. He failed it. And like, as a Marine, that's your fucking hallmark. Like, you need to be able to run 3 fucking miles under, like, I would say fucking 20 something minutes, right? You got to be moving. I ran my 3 miles in like 18 minutes and 30 seconds. I told you I was fast. So This dude fucking failed. And we're like, I'm not even lying, we're like 3 weeks away from fucking leaving. And he failed. And to deploy, you have to make sure you don't fail anything. You can't fail anything. No classes, no physical tests. Can't do anything. So he gets dropped from deployment. And at this point, we're so close to leaving. The Marine Corps is already, like the DOD, the Department of Defense, is already paid for his seat, for his plane ticket, for him. They accounted him in everything. Food, you know what I mean? You got to think about the logistics side of it. They accounted him for everything. So they weren't just going to let that seat go up. So I remember everyone scrambling around trying to find people to go to deploy. And word got out. I'm like, I was like, I'm fucking deploy. I wasn't in my rank yet. You were supposed to be another rank higher. But I was like, I'll fucking deploy. Because these two other kids who were the right rank to go, they both said no. The one dude wasn't able to go because he didn't have his classes done. That's why it's so important to have your classes done as a Marine, because it qualifies you to do anything, to go to schools, to do some cool shit. The other kid had his classes done, and he's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? Dude, this is why we joined the fucking Marine Corps, man, to go out and fucking get some. You know what I mean? Like, we went out, we were the crisis response to Africa. Like, anything happens in the African, that's what they call it. Each part of the world is sectioned off. So if something happens, the person in charge of this section controls on what's happening. So we were part of African. So if anything happened in Africa, we were the QRF, the Quick Reaction Force. We were the ones there. We were already in boots on the ground in Africa. Any terrorist attack happened, whatever the fucking case may be, any humanitarian mission that hadn't been done, we were there. So he said no. I was like, what? You know what I mean? And I didn't even know at this point we were going to Africa. I just knew they were deploying. I'm like, I want to go. And one of my mentors, man, I fucking wish I still kept in contact with him. He got out right before I left for deployment. And man, he took me under my wing. Like when I first got there, he was one of the best fucking dudes I met. He's back in Texas now with his beautiful family, and he became a state trooper. But he loved football. I loved football. I didn't have a car. He would drive me around. Like, man, he just really mentored me. But we kept our personal lives and our work lives separate, and that was like something that was real mature out of me. Because I remember we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, it's a restaurant, to watch the NFL draft, the football draft. Him and I on a fucking, I don't know, Friday or Thursday watching the draft. He was a Texans fan. I was a Philly fan. But when we went into work, he was a higher rank. I was way lower. We never talked. And if he ever asked me anything, it was like, yes, corporal, no corporal. Like, I gave him that respect. Because we were boys outside of work, I never brought that shit inside. So he really liked that. Obviously, that's how it should be. I was very professional with it. But he hooked me up. He's like, you want to deploy, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, you got everything done, right? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm fucking good. So he went and go talk to one of the leaders, and they're like, bring him in here. So I went in, and the guy Blood that I play with now, he was in charge of the team. He was in charge of the Africa team that went out there, and that's my first time seeing him. This big 6 foot fucking 8 Yeti. He's not 6'8". He's tall though. He's probably like 6'3", 6'4" maybe. I don't know. Big dude, big bald dude, very intimidating. And he's like, so you want to fucking deploy? I was like, yes, Gunny, I do. He's like, all right. He's like, can you play soccer? I was like, yeah. Because we played against the embassy team. Like, we played soccer so much. And I never played soccer in my life. I fucking lied to him. But I was like, I know how to, I'm fast, I can run, and I could probably juggle the ball, you know what I mean? So he's like, all right, you're coming on the team. So boom, right there, I got thrown right in the pipeline of get all my shit done, because I had to get all these deployment classes done. I had to get a new helmet. I had to get all new equipment because we're going out. We're going into a very dangerous spot, like a dangerous AO, which is a area of operation. And we just had to get new gear and shit. And man, I got thrown right in there. I got to go home for 8 days. I got everything done. They're like, hey, if you get everything done, you can go home for 8 days, and you'll deploy with the late window. I was like, sick. So I remember I got in the car. I got in the car and I called my mom and I told her I was deploying. She fucking just broke down crying. It was pretty crazy. But anyway, so deployed, did my 9 months out there, multiple like close calls out there. It was kind of crazy. The biggest thing, remember, I brought up the Black Hawk Down movie. We were training these Ugandan army. We're in Uganda. We were training the UPDF. It's the Ugandan People Defense Force. We were training them in our tactics with our equipment like vehicles and rifles to go to fucking Somalia, which where in Somalia that's where it was really bad. If you guys don't know what happened in the early 80s, 90s, read up on it. You know, get your freaking knowledge from it. But it was very dangerous out there. The leader out there killed almost 300,000 people in one fucking year. George Bush did a freaking humanitarian relief aid there, giving them supplies, the Red Cross giving them supplies and food because people were starving. Almost 300,000 people died in one fucking year. Just imagine. So it was like almost fucking, what's it called? It was insane. So many people were dying. So with all that, like, they were still at war. They've been at war for like 30 plus years now. Obviously, we didn't want to put boots in the ground again because of what happened in Black Hawk Down. If you guys, I think a new series just came out on Netflix about it, but like, go watch it and just read up on it. But we were there. We were so close to Mogadishu, training these soldiers to go there. Somalia was like 2 to 3 hours away from us where we were training them. In Somalia, it was a very dangerous spot. It was like, so it was very meaningful to be there and train these soldiers. And I'm telling you, man, these soldiers were like 40 fucking years old. Like they were my, like, could have been as old as my, like, could have been my fucking dad. You know what I mean? And they have combat experience too. And I'm there as a 19-year-old teaching them how we do things. You know, just put that in perspective. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So training these soldiers to go over there and fight. And you know what I mean? So it was very meaningful. It wasn't some relaxed deployment like people who were in Italy. They were really mad at us because they were in Italy, man. They were just fucking out there. Like they were part of the part of the Sigonella group. Excuse me. If you know who Sigonella is, it's one of the main points. So like if anything happens, they can pull people from Sigonella. Like there's a flight line there. It's a whole nother podcast we could talk about like military operations. But anyway, they were like on vacation. That's pretty much what it was. We were out there sleeping in tents on fucking cots, just sucking it up. We got combat pay, hazardous pay, endangerment pay. We got all the good stuff because we were in a dangerous area, right? So it was pretty cool, very meaningful. Came back from deployment. I remember I wanted to do something with my Marine career. So like I wanted to take the next step up. I didn't want to be just your average like Motor T operator because I knew there was much more to me. I wanted to go like do something cool, like recon or get my air wing, get my wings or just something cool, right? Something cool, like not my wings, my free fall wings, something cool. Like I just want to do something like elite, right? And Blood, he was like, "Hey, why don't you become a McQuist? That's the Marine Corps water instructor." Like very badass fucking thing to do. Very hard to do. So I came back. Blood was training me out in Africa to be this fucking water instructor. And this man is just drowning me, chat. I mean, just straight up fucking drowning me. This dude was like drowning me. He would make me hold a medicine ball up above my head. He was fucking grabbing me, pulling me underwater. You can ask him too. He doesn't hold fucking back. This man would like, I was like, dude, this is intense. I told him, he's like, come here. I was in the water and I was gasping for air. He's like, come here. I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't do it. I remember he's like, get over here. And I was like, so I swam over towards him and he fucking just jumped on me like Jason Voorhees coming out of the fucking water and jumping on top of me and just like, I'm fucking fighting him under the water and shit, man. Like fighting for my fucking life. It was so fucking crazy, man. I remember I was like, I can't do it. Like I couldn't breathe, right? I had fucking water in my throat. And we're waking up at like 5, 6 in the morning to do this fucking training. Like, and again, shout out to him because he's taking time out of his day to help me because he fucking believes in me. And we'll get to that like towards the end of this podcast. I know we're heavy on time, but like, That's all I need, man. Is just someone to fucking believe in me, right? So and like that's why I'm very grateful that he believed in me, and that's all I fucking need is someone to fucking believe in me, and he did. So boom, we got back to the States, man. After 9 months of not seeing anybody, I felt like two new iPhones came out, like whole new fucking world, because we were out in Africa, man. Like we barely had internet out there. I watched. That's when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. I was watching the Eagles on my fucking iPad at like 3060 fucking 360p, like like how you watch 1080p. I was at like 3060p trying to watch the fucking Super Bowl. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy time out there. So it came back. It was like a whole new world. A lot of people got sick out there. We had a couple guys. One kid like had kidney failure. My other buddy, his immune system failed and his liver failed at the same time. I was sick. Like so much shit was going on, man. And we were just a small team. There's only like 20 of us, 25 of us, I think, something like that. I don't know, but so it was crazy. So we get back to the States, and I know I told this story on the last one, but I remember I came home back from the States, for the one who don't know. After 9 months of not seeing your family, you would think they would be there to see you, and I came home to absolutely nobody. It was very sad. Like seeing everybody hug their family and kissing their wives, significant other, seeing their kids. It just made you sad. You know what I mean? I had a freaking girlfriend at the time. We weren't engaged yet. And like, yeah, man, it was just like, woo, like it's pretty sad. But anyway, a couple weeks later or a couple months later, whatever the case may be, I went to this class that Blood was training me for, and holy fuck, man, was it hard. Like, there's 3 weeks of just getting fucking shit on. Like getting drowned every single fucking day. You're swallowing so much water, so you have so much fucking diarrhea every day. You're pissing your fucking pants because you can't go to the bathroom unless like it's a legit emergency where you're just gonna shit down your leg. Very intense, high intense fucking class. It was like top 3 hardest schools in the Marine Corps to ever fucking graduate from. The graduate percentage was like less than 10%. It was like 8 fucking percent. I don't know, something like that. It's like usually a 30-man class. Only about 6 to 8 people make it. The percentage failure rate was so high, it was insane. So I remember giving it my all, of course. The last day before graduating, I fucking failed. One of the first times in my life where I like majorly failed, because again, I had a lot of people counting on me. I had my unit counting on me, because you need McQuist for every single unit, and like everybody has a different unit. So my unit needed a McQuist because we're in an amphibious assault force, so we needed McQuist, and we didn't have any. So I went there and I fucking failed, man. Last day before graduating, I made a stupid mistake and it was all on me. And I failed, and I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking cried driving home. I was really upset. I let people down, people who believed in me, fucking completely let them down. And I begged to go back. I was like, let me go back. Like, I made a stupid mistake. I know what I did wrong, blah, blah, blah. So the unit sent me back again. 2 weeks later, I fucking went back. I'm not even lying. 2 fucking weeks later, I went back and went through all of it all over again. You got to think about how when you swim, it's such a good exercise. Your calorie deficit is huge. We barely ate. We weren't able to eat in the morning because you woke up and you would swim about 1,500 meters in the morning. And this is all freestyle, so you're swimming everything all freestyle. You would wake up at 4 in the morning. I would get some peanut butter in me just to get something, and then you would start swimming. And you would swim until about 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock in the morning, you would be able to have classroom time where we got the Red Cross training to become a lifeguard, because that's what you become a lifeguard too. So you were able to eat in the classroom, and then after that, you did about another 3 to 4 hours of about another like 3 hours of just getting fucking slayed again, of just getting fucking hazed and fucked up. So I did it all over again, man. And again, like, I didn't give up. I went, and I remember I had about 20 something kids there. And I pretty much became a fucking McQuist. Like, the reason I got dropped was because of a stupid mistake that I made. It's not like I failed the criteria, whatever the case may be. I failed because of something I did. And all these kids there were like, thought they were hot shit, right? I'm like, they're like, oh, I swam my whole life, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, it don't matter. Chuck that out the window. They're like, oh, you don't know. I'm like, bro, I did this. Like, I was humble about it. I didn't tell them I failed it until the one instructor's like, fucking Batman, was here fucking 2 weeks ago, did the whole goddamn class, and you guys are acting like fucking pussies. Like, because I was like, guys, you're not, I was trying to tell them, I'm like, we're not fucking doing it the right way. Like, I was trying to tell them, and they didn't want to listen. And they got their fucking ass chewed out and handed to them, you know, and then they were like, dude, you did this before? I said, fuck yeah. Like, I know what I'm doing, man. You guys don't want to listen to me, so, like, fuck you guys. Long story short, by the end of the graduation class, the second time, we had 7 dudes, and every other dude besides me was either MARSOC or Recon. There are special forces, so pretty humbling to be the only non-special force person in that class, if that makes sense. That's how hard it is. Everybody else either, you know, wave the white flag, because the only way to get dropped is if you quit. Like, you say, I quit, or you're done or whatever, or you don't do it. So yeah, pretty humbling to be part of that group. I'm happy I was able to go back and do it. So graduated, boom, dude. My career was like, I came back from deployment, got this class done. I was like back on track to being like a superstar, you know. And then what happened? Some time went by. We went to California for training. We did a lot of training exercises. And this is coming. I'm already over 2 years at this point. Like, I'm coming down to a year in my contract, which is insane. 4 years really does fly by. I remember that was like summer of 2018. We went to California winter 2019. So like the year just flipped. The new year just flipped. And my leadership came to me like, hey, fucking Sergeant or Corporal Batman, like, we know you're a great swimmer. You have done so much for this unit. Do you want to go be a lifeguard? And I was like, holy fuck. Like, my contract I was a year out from my contract ending. I was like, fuck yeah. So I became a lifeguard, man. My last like 8 months in the Marine Corps, I became a lifeguard, and I saved I think I saved 2 people, helped 1 person, because we had a beach on base, and I saved a few people, and man, it was awesome. I loved it. My first 4 years was very unique in the Marine Corps, and then after the lifeguarding gig was over, I had about 4 to 5 months left until I got out. And ultimately I made a decision to get out because of my fiance, she was my fiance at the time. Because she couldn't deal with it, you know, and I was sick of it, you know, all the bullshit. I know I'm telling you all the highlights of my career, but man, there were so many low moments of my career too. Just like, I fucking hate this, and I'm so sick of it. You know, not saying I wanted to kill myself, but man, there's some times where I just wanted to fucking just off myself, you know. But again, if you know, you know. But so I made the decision to get out. I really wanted to stay in. I wanted to become a sergeant, which I did, so I was happy I became a sergeant. I wanted to get my black belt in mixed martial arts. I got a brown belt, so I wasn't able to get my black belt, but brown still looked pretty good in the uniform. I wanted to become a drill instructor. So many things I wanted to do, and getting out just really, you know, extinguished them goals or them once. But at least getting out and becoming a sergeant was very big to me, because people are like, oh, you were in the Marine Corps? I was like, yeah. Oh, what rank were you? Hey, I was a sergeant. People are like, oh, I know what a sergeant is. You know, if you were like, hey, I was a corporal, you'd be like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? No one knows what a fucking corporal is. So saying, hey, I was a sergeant, because all the war movies and shit, you'd be like, hey, sergeant's a good fucking rank. And I was in charge of 40-something Marines, so I was mentoring Marines, and, you know, I just loved it. I love being a fucking sergeant. That's why I love, like, from the military life to this life, mentoring people, helping them out, you know. That's why I love, man. That's why I love to do it. That's why I love doing what I do right now, because I feel like that kind of like substitute for what I was missing in the Marine Corps. So long story short, 5 months out, decided to get out. And my girlfriend at the time, or my fiance at the time, broke up with me. And yeah, I was like, well, fuck. Obviously I was super sad about it, whatever the case, but couldn't do much. I couldn't stay in. I was too close to getting out. There's like timelines that you have to meet, and if you're too close to getting out, they just boot you out. You can't stay in. There's so many spots that they can reserve every year, and if you miss your window, you're fucking out, man. So I was like, okay, I'll get out. Dude. And what do you know? COVID fucking hit right when I got out. I'm not even lying. What the funny thing is, too, like 2019 of December, I had a Marine in China, and they told me, like, hey, Sergeant Batman, so-and-so can't come back to the States because he's on lockdown over there in China. I was like, what the fuck do you mean he's on lockdown? Like, what? Because he was visiting his family from China, and they're like, oh yeah, the COVID fucking, Corona. It was Corona. I'm like, the fuck is this Corona shit? Like, dude, I had no idea what it was. So we knew about it, and nothing came about. This was 2019, guys, 2019, and then boom, I'm telling you, March, I got out. I got my paperwork to go to get out. I got discharged, and the next day, like they shut everything down, every fucking thing they shut down. So mentally, it was very hard. I came home, couldn't do anything. I'm fucking 22 years old, I think. Can't experience the real world. I was in the military for my first 4, so I was like, it was hard. I was like bottled up, right? Very hard coming out of the military, leaving one shithole and going home to another shithole, if that makes sense. So, oh, it was so fucking stupid. But I went into the reserves, so I didn't give up the military life completely. Went into the reserves. Um, did the reserves for about a year. No, yeah, I did the reserves for a little bit. Stopped for some reason. I don't remember why. Came back into the reserves, and then I stuck it out for like 8 months at that point, or 7 months, whatever the case may be. And while I was in, the whole cabal thing kicked off. I don't know if you guys remember the cabal thing in Afghanistan, with the United States pulling out of Afghanistan, but it was a shit show. 13 service members died. And at that point, I think that happened in like July or something, and I was set to go to the police academy for the state troopers in October. I already got accepted. I did all my tests and everything. I did the physical test. And I remember that happening, the cabal thing, and it like just put a bad taste in my mouth, man. Like, I felt like I got out of the military and was like kind of dishonorable because I didn't go to fucking the Middle East and fight. You know what I mean? That's what people my generation who joined around the time that I did, we joined to go to war, but we weren't able to go to war because of the time. Some people did go to the Middle East, but it wasn't for fucking combat, you know. So it was like kind of a heartbreaking moment. Like we didn't fucking get to go, right? So when that shit happened, I was like, damn, this is my time, man. Like I feel like if anything happens, this is my time to get back in and fucking go after it. Like maybe go to the Middle East, maybe go out there and go to fucking combat, go to war, and actually like fulfill my, I want to say like destiny, but like, you know, fulfill it. You know what I mean? To be that badass to go to war. I'm not saying it's badass to go to war, but you know what I mean? Like just to be fucking part of that history. And I told the state troopers, like, I'm not coming in. This was like a week before the academy too. I was like, I'm done. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not coming in. They wanted me. I skipped the list because they wanted they wanted military experience, especially in the Marine Corps, because their history values our history. Like they replicate our history with, like, you know, screaming and being disciplined and all this other stuff. That's why the state troopers are usually more tougher than you know, your local police or whatever. So they're like, why? And I told them, I was like, man, this is it. Like, if I'm going back in, it's now. And you always, when you get out, it's very depressing when you get out because you don't miss the fucking clown show. You miss the clowns. So I was missing that part of life. Like when I joined the Marine Corps, they broke me down all the way to the bottom, and man, they fucking brought me right back up. You know, they built me back up into this stone cold, like cold-blooded, fucking thick-skinned motherfucker, you know, like a goddamn dog, you know what I mean? That's what they fucking build me into. And I took it so serious, and I, like, in my head, that was the mentality I fucking had. So I made sure I, like, lived up to that fucking hype. Like the just like the amount of times I would work my ass off to be physically fucking like fit, like running with a pack on, picking people up. You know what I mean? Just like doing like military shit. Like I made sure I was at the top of my fucking game because if we ever got that call to go in, I wanted to make sure my Marines were like, fuck, man, we got Sergeant Batman on our side. Like, I'm happy. Like, I feel safe because this motherfucker's a dog. Like, I'll rip a jugular out of someone's fucking throat with my mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I would die for you pretty much. Like, I would do anything for my fucking guys, right? So I was always lived up to that hypes, and still to this day, I still have that fucking mentality of like, I'm a goddamn animal, right? And the Marine Corps did such a good job of breaking me down and building me up, not making me a robot, what everybody thought they were gonna make me, but just making me a fucking dog, like, you know, that stone cold killer type person. So that's how I feel. That's like the passion I have inside. But who hates Anom? Yep, I fucking hate them Anoms. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like that stone cold killer, you know. So with all this, having them 13 service members died, especially half of them being Marines, you know, it hit me hard. Ever seen service member die or fucking Marines die? Like, piece of me kind of leaves, you know what I mean? Even though if I didn't know that person, it's like they got one of us, you know, and it was like motherfuckers, you know. Um, and throughout my first 4 years, man, I've seen a lot of suicide. I've seen a lot of people get hurt. I've seen a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, this everything we do here is not. That's why I don't take it as a joke, but it's not fucking real life, if that makes sense. So I've seen a lot, and so seeing them 13th service member dies, I'm like, this is it, man. This is the time to go in. They're kicking people out because if you didn't get your vaccine for the COVID-19 shot, you're getting kicked out of the military. I was like, they're gonna lose so many fucking numbers. This is my time, so I sucked it up. I got the vaccine shot. Didn't care because I wanted to go the fuck back in. I wanted to, like, you know, be part. Dude, I'm telling you, when you guys get out after 4 years of waking up every morning at like 4 or 5 in the morning and going through the suck and just fucking hating your life, and man, you like, you miss it. You get out and you fucking miss it. It's a cruel fucking, like, trick, man, but you miss that shit, bro. Like, you absolutely 100% miss it. So I was like, this is it, man. Like, the 3 years I went without coming out of the military, man, I was physically and mentally just done, man. I was depressed, more mentally, obviously, but like, it was so hard to find that brotherhood out here, find it in the civilian world, especially with COVID going on. I couldn't even see my 4 best friends. You know what I mean? There was just so much more going on. So it was hard. It was fucking hard. So I had a hard time adjusting to the military life or to the civilian life because, again, COVID happened. I couldn't get a job. You know, man, I had to file for unemployment. So much shit happened, dude, just because of, like, COVID fucked everything up. And I'm not trying to use COVID as an excuse. Obviously, I kept going. I kept working hard. And everything happens for a reason, because if that shit didn't happen, I wouldn't know what I learned, what I know now with general contracting, because I was able to learn a lot of good stuff, general contracting wise, you know, how to do stuff. So, like, it's always a blessing in the sky, chat. If you don't know why something happens, you don't need to know right there and then. Like, wait some time, and maybe in the future you'll find out why it happened, you know? So, yeah, so joined back up, man, freaking went down, uh, signed my contract. I had a lat move. I signed a infantry contract. I was studying my ass off to become infantry, like all the weapon systems. I remember sitting in the basement in my room, studying, writing things down, studying the weapon systems, pretty much relearning how to be a sergeant, because, you know, you lose that after 3 years. You fucking lose it, right? It slowly starts to dwindle on you, and like how you were, right? So I was studying and everything, and then I got orders, and I literally got orders the day that Russia invaded Ukraine. So everyone thought I got called back and I was going to war to fucking Russia or in the Ukraine. It was pretty funny because I posted the order of, like, me saying, pretty much reinstating me that I'm back into active duty. So it was pretty funny. People reaching out, like, "Oh my god, this is fucking crazy." I'm like, "No, like, that's not happening." Um, so yeah, I go down back to North Carolina where I've first and originally was stationed. Got into an infantry unit. I was set to go to infantry school because I had to redo everything, like all the certs and all, since I was out for so long. Never happened. Never went to infantry school. Blew out my shoulder. You guys already know, and blew out my shoulder again. And now I'm here, man. I freaking got out, streaming full time. I started streaming more when I blew out my shoulder because I had a lot more time because my unit deployed. They went to Okinawa, Japan. I stayed back in the rear. I literally got surgery like a month before they left, so I wasn't able to go because I was doing physical therapy, all that bullshit. And of course, you guys know they toured again, got surgery again, and then after being out of the game for so long, they ask you, hey, what do you want to do? You want to get out or you want to stay in? Like, do you think you can recover from this? I'm like, I was so done with all the bullshit they put me through. I was like, I gotta start thinking about myself, like, health wise. I'm like, I'm out. I can't keep doing this, man. Like, I was so upset and pissed off of how I was treated coming back in, not coming back in, but with the medical side to it, man. Woo! I could have raised hell. It sucked too, because I wanted to be a drill instructor. I would have got promoted last year to my next rank, so I would have been in E6, and it goes all the way up to E9, so I would have been what 2 ranks away from hitting the max rank. I got out at almost 9 years, so I was almost at that halfway at the halfway mark of retiring, because you only need 20 years to retire. So yeah, it sucked, man. Like I love having Marines, man. Having Marines around me and like having that brotherhood, man. It's like something that I miss every day. But I just come to the fact, I come to reality that I'll never have that again. You know what I mean? I'll never have that consistency like how I do now, how I did back in the day being in the military. I've seen some of my Marine friends, man. It's always a great time seeing them. But again, everything happens for a reason. Do I regret anything that happened? No, absolutely not. Am I happy where I'm at now? Yes, I am. I love what I do. I love I'm so blessed to be doing this. Full-time streamer, full-time content creator, creating content, doing a podcast. Like, who the fuck? If you would have told me this shit 3 years ago, I'd be like, ain't no way. But God has a funny way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? He's got to take you through them rough fucking seas, them rough waves before it's calm and you see the rainbow or the sunset on the other side. And that's why with this podcast, like I wanted to show you guys all that rough shit I went through to where I am now, because people probably think it's a walk in the park how I got here. That's why I'm so rough and rigid around the edges. You guys know this. That's why I'm so like unfiltered and just, I would say, different, right? And I'm not I guess normal or average. I don't want to say normal because there is no fucking normal. No one knows what normal is, right? But I'm just not your average fucking streamer, content creator, full timer. You know what I mean? Like, and you guys and the people who really follow me, who keep up with me, not just to come in and play with me when I'm live and actually get to know me and know the community and shit. Like, this is why I'm fucking the way I am. This is why I'm different. This is why I have such a strong fucking hard head, thick head. Because of just all the shit I've been through and being motionless and cold-blooded, like, goes all the way back to where my mom and dad were getting a divorce, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it really started. That's where everything started, And then when I joined the Marine Corps, that it enhanced it, Like, I lost so many good fucking dudes, so many good Marines, in my 8.5, 9 year career. Like, it sucks, man. It's sad, but it's just like, man, what can I do about it, it just made me who I am today. And then now looking back at all of that shit that I just told you guys in the last probably like two hours, maybe 3, this is God's plan, and that's why you never question it. Everything happens for a fucking reason. Everything you guys do in your lives happen for a fucking reason. Look how long it took for me to realize that the shit that happened with my shoulder, all the rough times I went through, is now able me to do this. If I didn't have this shit done with my shoulder, I would not be able to do what I do now. I would not have this set up. I would not be where I'm at right now. Like, every little fucking thing matters, good or bad. When bad shit happens, you guys got to just learn how to roll with the fucking punches. Like, that's why I think I'm so good at rolling with the punches now. Because in the military, like in the Marine Corps, man, bad shit always fucking happened. Like, you would be out in the field training and boom, fucking thunderstorm will happen. Your shit's all fucking wet. You're sleeping in a goddamn puddle. Like, shit sucks, right? But like, what can you do about it? It's out of your control. One of the most deadliest sayings I think is, it is what it is, man. If you get that like mentality in your head, like that barrier in your head, like it is what it is, you're a dangerous motherfucker, man. Like you're a bad dude or gal. If you can get that in your head, like it is what it is, and you just fucking like you're unfazed by it, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, Chad. I said that before. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and it's exactly how it sounds. Like, once you get that down and you get the what it is mentality, man, you're woo. Look out, man. Look the fuck out. That's why. Hold on. That's why when people come in here and talk shit and do whatever, it doesn't faze me, man. It really don't. Like, it's funny to talk about it, but it doesn't faze me. Cause man, the shit these kids that come in talking shit like that kid yesterday, like bro's calling me a fucking pussy and all this shit. Like, bro, man, like it's not even the fact that like I just want to punch you in your fucking face right now and watch you like fucking crawl up and cry. It's just like, dude, you wouldn't fucking man, I'm not gonna get down into it, but it's just like it's a humbling fucking thing, right? That's why I always try to be kind. I always be nice. I always give the benefit of the doubt. I always fucking try to hear both sides of the story if there's two or whatever the case may be. But chat, you just gotta like be fucking humbled about it. Like the ultimate fucking revenge in people is success. And like, there's so many quotes you could live by. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. So all that shit, all the hate, all that crap, like people hating me on YouTube, they're saying I suck and everyone I play against are bots. It's like, whatever, dude. You think I fucking care? Like, who are you? Type deal. Like, who are you to tell me? Like, I'll see you at the top, man. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm gonna keep doing me. Just because you say I fight bots, I'm not gonna stop my channel, shut down, and just like crawl in my bed and fucking cry. Like, good on you, man. If you think I fight bots, you're right. They are bots. I wish nothing but the best of luck to you, man. And that's why I tell you guys in the beginning too. I had like no hate in my heart. You guys shouldn't never have hate in your heart because it's not worth the energy. It's not worth the time. You just wish the best to that person. Like if someone you don't really like someone, man, don't let it get to you. Do not let them get to you because that's what they want. Like when my ex fiance broke up with me, like I wish nothing but the best for her, man. Like, was I angry or upset at her? Yeah, for sure. I wasn't sitting there calling her a bitch, a slut, a whore. I was like, fuck you, fuck your family, fuck your dog. Like, you know what I mean? I was not like that at all. People are like, yo, she cheated on you. I'm like, dude, I don't fucking care. It's done and over with. Like, she made her fucking decision, and that's that. I'm moving the fuck on. And that's what, like, I remember Swifty, some other people coming to me about like some sad stuff in their lives. I'm like, listen, guys, it's gonna be sad. Like, it's not fucking fair. I get it, but it's okay to sit there and cry about it, and like sit there and just moan and grieve about it. But if you sit there too long, man, life is just gonna fucking steamroll you. That's why I tell you, you gotta get up and keep fucking moving. Because if you don't get up and keep moving, life is gonna run you the fuck over. So, with you guys, like my advice for you guys, if anything happens, like grieve about it, cry about it. It's okay. Like it's fine to fucking cry about it. Like we're human, right? But if you sit there and it's been 6 months and you're still sitting there crying about it, it's like, come on, bro. Like I'm trying to help you get the fuck back up on your feet and keep you moving. There are some people who struggle with that, but like it's that mentality. It's that dog mentality, right? Cry about it, get the fuck up, keep moving, brush it off, remember the good times, and moan, and grieve about it. But what's it called? So like with Swifty, with his dog passing away, and some other people in the community, like I suck at sympathizing for people just because of like how fucking cold blooded I am, man. And it hurts me, you know what I mean? But that's just who I am, and that's just how I was built. That's who I was, built to be. You know what I'm saying? And I feel bad because I do care, and it's just like, but what can I do? You know what I mean? What can I do for you besides talk to you and try to help you? And I know that's all some people need, and that's why I give it to you. I give it to you guys as best as I can, but like, that's one thing that fucking sucks. My sympathy for people, it's like, man, I can't fucking do it, man. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. Like, oh, that sucks. My dog just died. It's like, yeah, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, when my dog dies, it's going to suck and it's going to be sad. I'll cry about it, but like, it sucks. Like, what else can I say besides it fucking sucks, Once you get that shit in your head, like, man, you're a dangerous motherfucker, man. Like, it sucks. It's like, fuck yeah, it does. Like, my dad dying, it fucking sucks. Fucking right, it does. But you don't see me here, like, moaning and groaning about it. You know what I mean? I don't ever talk about it. This is my first time ever coming on camera and talking about it, chat. So for the people who were here earlier hearing me talk about it, this is the first time I ever even brought up. I don't even think anyone even knew that like I ever even just shared a room with my own dad before, because it's like so weird to say. Like, who the fuck does that? You know what I mean? So yeah, like that mentality. That's why I love what I do, man. I love mentoring people. So being here and helping people, but giving them tough love. Like, look at Wooly. I freaking helped him on YouTube. I pushed him to the water. Obviously I can't make him drink it, but that man drank the water by himself with his editor, and look at them now. They're monetize on fucking YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit I love seeing. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people. Doesn't even matter how fucking old you are either. Age is but a fucking number. Because I had Marines that were like 28, 29, 30 years old, and I'm 21, and I'm giving them fucking orders, and they're looking up to me, and they're telling me I'm their fucking mentor. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I love that shit. That's the shit I fucking like. I fucking hold on to, and I'm like, man, it feels good because I give that tough love, and I think people need that shit. You know what I mean? So being in this industry, being in the streaming industry, like, I'm just, I don't know. It's different because I'm different, so it's harder for me to adjust and to find I guess to find like real people like you guys, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows in my stream. You guys know that, right? Like, we're screaming, we're cursing, I'm self or shit, like, but at the end of the day, like, we come back together as a family, you know what I mean? And that's exactly how it was in the Marine Corps too. Like, if we're doing operations and you fuck up, like, I'm gonna sit there and like get physical with you and tell you fucked up and shit, but like, we're gonna go to bed next to each other and cuddle, you know, in the same tent, whatever. But yeah, like, having that mentality, man, is huge. And it sucks, like I said, not being able to feel for people. Like, I feel for them, but like, emotionally I don't feel for you, if that makes sense. um and it, again, everything I told you guys in the last 2-3 hours is, it all started probably like right when I joined high school. And again, everything happens for a reason. So that part I'm missing for sure is like, I know it's different for you guys to tell me you're proud of me, or, you know, my loved ones to tell me they're proud of me, because we're in a, we're it's still weird to be a YouTuber. It's still weird to be a content creator. Like, it's to be social media. Like, it's weird. It's not normal. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, go to college, get a job. That's normal, right? So when people like tell me they're proud of me, you know, hey, I got 10,000 subscribers, everyone's like, oh, whatever, cool. But, you know, other people do tell me that they're proud of me, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it always go back to like, I want my dad to tell me he's fucking proud of me. You know what I mean? And that's the part I'm fucking missing. I'm missing that like father figure, because I never had that I never had it. I did, but you know what I mean? Like, from 15 on, I never had it. I graduated the military. I graduated the Marine Corps, one of the baddest things to be in. Of course, my mom, my family's proud of me and everything, but like, I never had that father figure to be like, hey, son, I'm fucking proud of you, you know? So it sucks, you know, especially what we're doing now. So it sucks. It sucks, not being able to have that father figure in your fucking life. But the streaming stuff, man, it's just crazy. You know, my mom doesn't understand it either. I try to tell her, like, I got, you know, almost, we're coming up, I think, our 8 or 9 million views on YouTube, and she's like, oh, that's great. And I'm like, yeah, like, I know you don't understand, but I promise you, Mom, like, I'll make it. I obviously want to make her proud too, like, show people wrong, because I'm not saying she never believed in me, but like, that's how I look at it. Like, oh, she don't believe in me. Watch this. So, like, hold my beer. Give me a few fucking years, man. That's why I'm so like driven to get to the top, and that's why I'm so driven and so dedicated and consistent with you guys and what I do, because I want us to get to the top, right? I want to show these people, even the people that I love, like, you know, Wooly and you guys and Bomber and Peak, and just these people that are, you know, helping me along this way. I want to stick it to them. You goddamn right. You know what I mean? Like, I want to stick to them. Be like, I fucking told you I'd fucking make it. Like, I wasn't the one to fucking to doubt, right? There's just, that's not like any hate or anything towards them guys or any of you guys either. Like, I just want to stick it to you and be like, I fucking told you we'll make it. Like, give me a hug. I told you. You know what I mean? Like, like that tough love shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I just want to stick it to everybody. Like, hey, we're fucking here, baby. We are fucking here. You know, and it gets me excited talking about it, because, you know, we're gonna make it, chat. I'm telling y'all, we're gonna fucking make it, man. It's only a matter of time. That's why I'm working so hard. I'm being very consistent. I'm trying my hardest for you guys. I'm trying my hardest for my haters, my lovers. I'm trying my hardest for everybody, because when we make it, it's going to feel fucking great. And again, we're going to be like, we're sticking it to them, you know? I pray for it every goddamn day. I'm not even lying. Every morning I pray. I get on my knees and I fucking pray. And I pray that we fucking make it, man. And just keep pushing me forward and give me the will and the power to keep fucking going forward, and being the best I can fucking be every goddamn day, you know. It's man, the religion part goes so far into it. Like, if I didn't have God or Jesus, man, I would not be here. Some of you guys already know that. Like, I would have killed myself so fucking long ago. It's not even funny. So that shit really keeps me fucking sane. Like, I fight these demons every single day. That you guys don't see, obviously, right? They're in my fucking head, but that shit keeps me fucking going. And like, you know, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, was it yesterday and the day before, man? That you just can't win them all. You can't win them all them fucking battles, and that's something you gotta remember. So being sit there and be able to be like, hey, I can't do this, you know, I'm just not feeling good because I'm fucking depressed or whatever. You can't win them all. I can't win them. I can't win every fucking day with them demons. You know what I mean? So, I was just upset. I was fucking, I don't know. I was feeling some type of way. I was super tired. That didn't help. And then, like, I was just upset, man. I was thinking about my fucking dad, you know, just all the shit that was happening in my life. Just thinking about it. I was reminiscing, of course, of it all. So, yeah, having my Lord and Savior, man, Jesus Christ, like, whew, I would not be here, man, because it's a sin to kill yourself, and I would not do that. I told y'all, when I'm like fucking dedicated to something, I'm in it. I'm in it, you know, like, so it's crazy. But I'm truly blessed to be doing this, and I love to be here and being able to do what I do. Even just this podcast, talking to you guys, and everybody who's just sitting there fucking listening to me. I appreciate you guys. It's not easy, man. It ain't easy, but having you guys and having my support system behind me, it makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? And we'll make it to the top. I'm telling y'all, like, if you guys weren't here in the beginning of the podcast, I said, remember where we're at right now, sitting on this fucking couch with this sign here, the window right there. Watch where we're at in like 5 years from now. Watch the like upgrade from the people we have on here to the fucking equipment to how things look. Like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a special ride. And I told you all already, we're running fast, and we're gonna fucking keep going. Like, no one's gonna derail us. No one in this world could derail us. I don't care what happens. Like, I will not stop fucking going forward. And that's why I said, grab my hand. I remember before we moved up to this house, before we got here, I told you to grab my fucking hand and don't let go, because we ain't stopping. We ain't fucking stopping. We're going to keep fucking running. We're going to keep going towards this shit, no matter what it takes. And there's going to be people that come and go. There's going to be people like you all that are staying. Or if you're listening, you know, in the future because you wanted to rewatch this or whatever the case may be, like, we ain't fucking stopping, man. And it's because of you guys too. Like, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be talking to anybody if you guys weren't here right now. So I would 100% put you guys in front of me every single time, no matter what, no matter how much success I get out of this. It's all because of you guys, and I'll put you guys in front of me every single fucking time too. So like, it's just, that's why I'm truly blessed to be doing this. And like I said, I pray for this every fucking day, and it's a privilege, man. It really is. It really is to be doing this. I can't do it without you guys. So I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys. I hope you enjoyed the backstory from like when I was just started in high school to where we are now. I know I obviously left out a lot of information, but I really wanted to highlight my life before I joined the military, to where we are now. And you guys can see the hardship and the difference. And it wasn't like all the fucking butterflies and rainbows and butterflies up to this point. Because I feel like a lot of streamers, they think a lot of people who stream and a lot of people who watch stream, it was like, I don't know, they didn't have it as hard, you know what I mean? And that's what makes us better. That's what makes us fucking better. And it'll always make us better no matter what. Again, we have that fucking mentality, man, and we'll keep going forward. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow. That we're gonna call it right there. I appreciate you guys all listening. A lot of people up in here, man. A lot of people up in here, but I think it's pretty cool, you know, and be like, yo, Wooly, what's up, man? How you doing? Chris, Aggie, Perfect, Super, Mousy, 7G, Brent, Canny, Jordan. I already said Wooly. It's so weird seeing your first name. Llama, appreciate all you guys. I don't know if I missed anyone, but like Andrew, like we need to be doing this shit together, man. And I really hope this like helped you guys realize we're not like the streamers. We're not all fucking perfect. Like we didn't just like become this like it didn't come easy, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The last I don't even know how long we've been going for, maybe like 3 hours now. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. Again, that was my first time talking about my past like that. I have never done that before to anybody. So yeah, I hope you guys accept me still. You know what I'm saying? But I love you guys and I appreciate what you guys do for me. Not just for me, but for other people too, like that are part of this, that's part of the community too. You know, we're a tight ass fucking family. And I'm just so happy, man. I'm just so proud. And like I said, blessed to be doing this. It's just unbelievable to see where we are. We've been full time for like 4 or 5 months now, I think. I don't know, maybe 5. Yeah, 5. And man, it's crazy. And you know I have them crash out moments, but we have our ups and downs when we stream, and you know you're definitely gonna have that. You know, so I love you guys. Appreciate everything you guys do. We'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time frame. Yeah, and if you guys ever need to reach out, like don't think because I'm like cold hearted and I'm fucking like cold blooded, cold hearted, like emotionless. You guys can't ever reach out to me. Like I'll still sit there and talk to you. That's what I'm really good at is like talking and making it make sense to you and giving it to you fucking raw and real and straight and like you know you can ask if you ask some of my Marine friends, I've given it to them straight even though the truth hurts sometimes, right? I mean fuck, you can ask Wooly, like you can ask anybody whoever ever talked to me on a private basis, private messaging before. Like I'll give it to you fucking straight. I'll give it to you real. So I don't want you to think that you can't reach out to me because like I'll still help you. You know what I'm saying? But I'll help you in a different way. And sometimes you need to be helped in a different way. You know what I mean? So I'm very approachable. I remember something happened. I'm not going to name any names, but something happened in stream, and they didn't want to tell me because they didn't think. Not that they didn't think it, but they were like timid of me. They were like scared to reach out to me because I don't know why. And I'm very approachable, chat. You guys can always reach out to me. You have my Discord. You know what I mean? So I don't want it to be like that. I want you guys to be able to reach out to me and talk to me. And that's why I'm here. That's why I love doing it. I love mentoring people. I love helping people and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I just love fucking doing that shit. That's what, like, gets me, you know, gets me fucking hard, you know? It's tough love. You know, that's what it is. It's what it comes down to. I fucking love that's the love I give. And if you guys can handle that tough love, I got you. I fucking got you. You know what I'm saying? I timed out Chris. What did you do? What happened? But yo, M, what's going on? How you doing? Now I appreciate all you guys coming in and watching. Again, like we'll just keep growing, man. We'll just keep fucking growing. Appreciate you guys like taking the time out. It means so much. It means so fucking much to me that you guys like take the time out of your day to come listen to me, and it just shows how much more support you guys show. And not just to be on fucking Twitch and just want to play games with me. Or whatever the case may be. That's what's gonna make us better as a community. Like we're just gonna keep on fucking going, man. I'm so happy, man, for real. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day because this is like again, this is a privilege. So you guys doing this just really means the world to me. And I couldn't ask for a better community than what I have right now with you guys. It's amazing. So thank you very much. It's gonna be a little awkward because I got to get up and go behind the camera to turn this off. You know what I'm saying? I can't like click the button and it'll go to end stream. But again, you guys need anything, hit me up. You guys already know we'll be back tomorrow morning. Get some games in. So I hope to see you guys there. We'll play some BR. We'll play some OG, and of course we'll play some freaking reload. But again, you guys need anything, you can always hit me up. Wooly, Chris, M, Brent. I'm gonna try to name everybody. Super, Aggie, Perfect. Let me see who else we got. Who else we got? Marvel, 7G, Kenny, Perfect with the freaking bat special. Sheesh, let's go. Thank you, Perfect. Llama, all you guys that came in. Dana, I see you. Cool Kid, Andrew. Who else we got? Carrie, I see you, Carrie. Yeah, X3. Appreciate all love, guys. Meds, Barkley, Landon, Gabriel. Appreciate all you guys. And if you guys came in like towards the end, I highly suggest to go back and see what I said earlier. What we went through. It was crazy. I'll be there. Gave me such a hard time this morning about going to bed. I'm sorry. But I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. I appreciate you guys coming out. Like, I know this isn't supposed to be scheduled at all. You know what I mean? So I appreciate all love that you guys show day in and day out. Wooly, I hope you got your. Did you get your thing, Wooly? Your freaking monetization on YouTube. No name, what up, no name? Did I not say your name, dude? I'm sorry, man. If you guys are just sitting there in the shadows, I appreciate you guys. But Wooly, did you get it? Did you get your notification back? Not yet? All right. Well, when it comes through, man, I can't wait, bro. I'm very excited. Very happy for you. But yeah, you guys need anything, you already know, hit me up. God bless you all. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.